All right. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Excuse me, family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing this night? This is the night after Sunday, and I'm actually an hour late. I was doing some things a little earlier, almost slipped my, well, it did slip my mind, but I had to come home because I was a little busy a little earlier. So about an hour late. It's a little after 10 right now. You usually come on at 9 p.m. Eastern time, but it's a little after 10 at the moment. And we're going to do a recap, or should not really a recap. It's more like it's called, well, should I say first, this is Fight Fire with Truth, and this is open conversation. But the open conversation tonight is a pickup. I don't know. I would say rebut, not rebut, but it's a pickup from my story of my story or my story, question and answers, part three and four. This part three and four because we did one and two last week. And this is my story of the things I did leaving Detroit. First, before I even get started, let me do the prayer. Let me do the prayer, then we'll go into those formalities of everything that's going on for the night. All right? Blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father of 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so we can help lead and guide others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, in your way. We ask you to keep your arm protection around us. Help us in every way. Allow us to grow in your great light, in your spirit, that we all may come to you and do your will and wake up as a people in this world today. We ask you to forgive us of the things we have done in time past, today's time and time to come, and also forgive us, our ancestors and our forefathers, for going against you, your law, your word, your will, and your ruach, which is your spirit. Forgive us from going against those things. And we know we've trespassed against you, and you also trespass against us. We ask you to forgive us of our deeds and correct us in measure in our ways, and help us in every way, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, Almighty. Praise you, Almighty. Thank you, Father. So, this is the night after Sunday, which we say Sunday night, and the yesterday or the day was September 21st, 2025. And this is actually the second night where we're at right now. Yesterday was the first day of the new month, the lunar month of the lunar calendar. And this right here is the first, should I say, the second night, because the first night was last night. This is the second night of the 6th month, second night of the 6th month according to the lunar calendar. So, but other than that, we're picking up from where, there we go. We're picking up from where we left off last week. We're picking up from where we off last week. And this is the life of Mikael, question and answer, part three and four. The life of Mikael, question and answer, part three and four. But this is part one of part three and four. So, as I was stating, me and G1 was having a conversation the week before last, and he wanted to know some of the things I did, and as of leaving Detroit, going to Germany, and the things I did throughout my life. And we had like a small conversation about it, and I said, "Oh man, let's have a conversation about like a small interview with me, or about some of the things I've done." And I'm kind of like going through my story. So now, last week, from what I remember from where when we left off at, I was talking about when I made it to Germany. I gave my story from when I was in Detroit, and then when growing up in Detroit, dancing, performing with the groups and things, and family and friends and everything I was with at that time. Short, but with some things I went through. Then I got to Germany. And when I got to Germany, I think I was sharing the information about my children's mother. Last I can remember saying, I was talking about my children's mother here, my two oldest girls' mother here, and um, when I left Detroit, when I got to Germany, and how she used to trigger me. And then I got with my new lady named Karen, which have my two boys now. When I got with her, it was like the trigger was broken, you know. So that was the last I remember. But I thought I remember sharing about Imperial as well. And we talked about Imperial, and I believe I talked about um, G1. Do you remember me telling you any of the part of the story of me performing last week?
Yeah, you talked about different points of it, yeah, different things at times of it.
So before we even
We
get
didn't really
started,
get deep into the songs and the music. It was more so just about how you got into things and where you came from and how you went, what happened, how you left, why you left, how you ended up out there, how you end up in places, and then you kind of went through up
certain
to
things.
how you
Yeah. So
went.
is there any questions in those things that we remember up to that point that you want to ask?
Well, it's a bunch of things, so we probably got to hop and skip around because I got mad different questions. Like I said, just like about even just the music itself, the different symbolism about the songs, the lyrics, just the styles, just different things. I have brought up the dance because I noticed, like you said, your whole thing was you were a choreographer in the group, so it made me. That's why we went back to your history about how you started dancing and how you got into dancing and everything like that, which led you up into meeting your kid's mom and how you ended up leaving and all of that kind of stuff like that. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, so yeah, man, there was a bunch of questions I wanted to get.
This thing's starting to go in and out again. Could you repeat that last part again?
Uh, what was the last words you heard?
You everything you said up until you was about to say the last part. The last part start going. It started skipping. This my no, it's my mic on this side. I know in the computer in the full version they're gonna be able to hear you, but it was just skipping right there where I couldn't hear a couple of words you were saying.
Yeah, like uh like you said, everything was leading up from your dance history up to you meeting your children's mother, and then how you end up leaving and everything like that. But yeah, the music Imperial, we didn't really get into the so much the group and just the meaning of it, and just like some of the symbology and the I wanted to draw some of the parallels of the music and actually with your life and things of that nature.
Hmm. Okay, well I can share a little bit of that. I can give a little bit of the story of of that, and then we can go into it. And that way, I can give you it's more like some of the stories you can feed off of from what I can share with you, and then we can go back over the questions. Or you want to ask a couple of questions now, and
Yeah,
then I go over the
I think
stories. Up to you
probably.
how you want
Well,
to
I
do
don't
it.
know. Like, what's better? Is it a lot more the finish of the part two? Because did you check out the pinpoint where you?
Yep, yep, yeah.
So,
So what I do is I get to that point, and that then you can feed off that if that's all right.
well, not well. I want to stay because like I said, I had pre-questions already written down and points already made without knowing any of this stuff. So it's the things I want to ask don't even rely on what you're about to say. Now that's just gonna raise up more questions that I might have. But yeah, I definitely want to touch on the things that I made points to ask about. But
Come on, if you want to do that now, we can do that.
okay, well, hopefully it don't mess up nothing you was about to do. But all right, so we already talked about the fact that it's electro dance music is, this is the 90s in Europe, so it's Euro electro dance.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, 'cause I got some other notes on my phone and I wrote some notes down too. So basically, the musical element. So it's a strong Euro dance backbone, pounding 4/4 beats, layered synths, dramatic chord progressions. The tracks borrow from classic Latin phrases, giving a martial, almost imperial energy. And the female vocalist, what's her name? What's the female vocalist name?
Okay, the female vocalist on Vinny Vidi Vici, her name was Manuela. She was the female vocalist and performer um for Vinny Vidi Vici. But for Quo Vadis and for Nostra Coopa, it was this other sister, or I'm saying sister, but she was another young lady. Her name was Manuela Ray. She
Were they
pulled.
Spanish or what were they? What's their backgrounds?
I know Manuela, she was Austrian. She was from Austria. Now Manuela Ray, she I forgot, she was of a different ethnic group. I don't remember what it was, but she was more bland with a little bit of melanin, but she wasn't us, but she was a melanin, she was had a little melanin in her,
Mhm.
but she was spoiled like a brat, but
Personality wise, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
kind of attractive. I was noticing they was kind of cute. Both of the ones I see. Well,
Mhm.
all right. So symbolism and meaning of the Veni Vidi Vici. It says I translates to I came, I saw, I conquered. Um.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that was our first single.
right, right.
Vini Vidi. Were you finished? I'm sorry, I didn't want to
No,
cut
no,
you
I
off.
wasn't. I wasn't. I was just. Yeah, I'm breaking that down. Yet
Okay,
it translates to I came, I
I
saw, I
I
conquered.
conquered.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm
in
sorry. Go ahead.
1990s context, it symbolized cultural conquest. Eurodance was spreading across the globe, crossing borders and merging cultures. Artistically, it's about empowerment, triumph, and asserting identity in an age of globalization.
Okay.
You agree with that?
Um, Somewhat. I could say yes. M- m- Categorically, when it comes to full world situation, yes. With the style of dance and music, I could say partially yes, because I couldn't say fully, but I could say yes to that as well, because all of it is under the Roman Empire. And that's what I come to find out later on as I went through my spiritual awakening and things like that. But I'm glad you're breaking it down the way you're doing, because we're able to bring out history, real history, with what the Father, I'm saying Father, the Creator, brought me through to understand what you actually bringing to the table.
Well, yeah, the Rome and the like, just the whole Roman Empire theme. Even in that song, she's saying, "I gotta let you take control." She's saying, "I got to let you take control."
Control, yep.
Yeah, yeah. So she's even saying, like in a sense, the music has got to let take control, and like you said, the Roman, it's kind of like a parallel with the Roman Empire taking control.
Of the world, truthfully.
Yeah, and Rome means strength. Roman is from Rome, and that is Greek origin for strength. So
Yep.
yeah, I noticed in that video too. At the end of one of them, the Vini Vidi Vici, the Caesar character, he gets killed. He's like stabbed.
That's right.
Yo, was he part of the group? Who was that guy that played that character? Because I noticed he's in a couple. He's in the other video as
Yeah,
well.
quote, Nostra Cooper.
That's his name, Nostro
No,
Cooper.
no, no. That was the name of the last video that I was in that we did. I did three videos, three
Well, no, I
songs.
was referring to that character, to that man. Is that guy? Was he a part of the group? Was he like the songwriter, or was he the?
No, no, no. The producer had him particularly playing Caesar.
Okay.
Yeah, the producer had him playing Caesar particularly. Um, I don't know. That's I mean, when you look at Caesar, when a little what they call them, molds, or figures or
Yeah.
statues of Caesar, they have little, but he wasn't that big, but he was like small,
Mhm.
bald headed with the little ring, with the ring
With
crown
that
on, the
with that.
wreath,
Yeah.
that wreath crown.
Hmm.
Yeah. So just to add on to what you were sharing, and what I've come to find out, when I first got with Imperial, I didn't know what it meant, and I didn't have an understanding. All I know is that the group name was Imperial, and the producer placed everything, put everything together, made the music and everything else. So the producer name was Norbert Reichert, right? So Norbert Reichert actually had Tyrone Vincent, which was the guy who brought me in as the hype man, choreographer, rapper, and dancer in the live shows. I would do the live show. I was getting paid for the live shows at this time. So like I said, I was the hype man, choreographer, rapper, and dancer. Now Manuela and Tyrone Vincent, they were the male and female vocalists. Now them two was the group at first. Like I said, I was the hype man, choreographer, rapper, and dancer. But as we got to going on, I started asking questions, and it was told to me that Bini Bini Vici mean I came, I saw, I conquered. Then I just knew it related to the Bible. So all I knew it had something to do with the Bible. Now, in these latter days, or after I got out the group and started learning more about uh, my actual culture, what I'm into after going through my spiritual awakening, which we're going to get back to, I ended up finding out that the Roman Empire is who I was working for by being in
Well, wait,
Imperial.
hold that thought, because you're gonna get a chance to draw these type of points up, but I want to go in a different order. All
Okay,
right, so
okay,
yeah, so next I want to get to the Quo Vadis video. So
okay.
that was the next song you guys did, the next video, and Quo Vadis, what I have right here wrote down. I noticed that it had some when I listened to it, it had uh it had this Apollo 1 NASA takeoff intro.
You was paying attention, bruh. You
Yeah,
was paying
yeah,
attention.
yeah. So, and
You
this is,
did some studying.
I mean, when I this was all in like one. Yeah, like I said, I just went in. I did a deep dive, and why half step? You know what I mean? Let's just really go in on this.
That's on point. You're right. I'm glad
I
you
mean,
did,
yeah,
bro.
not just looking for the surface, just like, yeah, I heard the song. I'm really trying to dig in and listen to the symbology of what, because it's like a movie. Because, it takes time to make a movie, right? They put in certain things have to be shown, and like what they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So
There you go. 1,000 words.
everything has a point. They're not wasting time to give it a second of time to something that doesn't have a meaning. You know what I mean? So in audio wise, I'm listening to it and watching it and in the video. So it's like these things are all trying to paint a picture and draw up something and a message that's even deeper. A lot of times what a Wu-Tang Killer, Master Killer on the Wu-Tang Clan, he says the dumb are mostly intrigued by the drum. Mostly the dumb
Won't
people
be intrigued by the
by the drum, basically the beat. They just only hear the beat, but they're not listening to what's being programmed.
exactly,
You know what I mean? So it's
exactly.
like a lot of people they'll listen to it and only hear just the music, and that's just the drum. But me, no, I'm going into the deeper meaning. I'm not just toning out, getting tuned out by the music and just
You're
forgetting the.
actually listening to the lyrics, seeing what's being said.
Right, right, right. So all right, so boom. So Imperial Quo Vadis 1995. It says this one is a more darker, more haunting compared to Vini Vidi Vici. There's a heavy use of choral vocals and Gregorian chant-like textures layered over club beats. Gives a strong sacred verse profane duality. The dance floor as a kind of cathedral.
But
So
that sound more like Nostra Cooper.
Quo Vadis. Oh, you saying like the video wise or the?
Yeah, the song that sound more like Nostra Cooper. Now, when you were saying now, Quo Vadis mean where do you go? I end up finding out later. Quo
Yeah,
Vadis mean
no. I'm getting to that. You jumping ahead of me.
I'm my fault, my bad, my bad.
Yeah, I know you like to talk, but just let me go
I'm
ahead and
listening.
like, I mean, you'll know when it's time for you to interject.
I
But like,
got you. I'm listening.
yeah. Just for now, just listen. Yeah, so Quo Vadis means where are you going? So a deeply existential and spiritual question, famously tied to Christian legend. So the track feels like it's not just about dancing, but about destiny, an anthem for searching, moving forward, and confronting the unknown. Because remember, like I was saying, they have this Apollo NASA intro, and the video is kind of futuristic. There's like a futuristic theme, like as
Yep.
opposed to the Roman, the previous video, Vini Vidi Vici, they're conquering kind of the global dominance of the world, putting everybody under the Roman Empire. But now it's like Quo Vadis is like, where are we going? This asking the question, where are you going? And so, all right, so the track, it feels like it's not just about dancing, but about destiny and an anthem for searching, moving
You
forward,
really broke it down. You did a
confronting.
good job, bro.
Yeah, okay, yeah, confronting the unknown. So, in contrast to the triumphant energy of Vini Vidi Vici, this one asks, "What is the purpose of our journey?" Right. So, I have some more notes here.
Now, I'm glad you had, wait a minute. Why you right there? I want to add something to where you at. Because I feel there's prophecy in that song, Covadis. And I'm gonna share with you, even when I was
Well, hold
doing it.
on. You're getting ahead again
Okay,
because
okay. I just don't want to. I don't want to miss the
I'm no, no, no.
opportunity.
I'm to the point where you're gonna be able to say add that. So
Okay,
basically, the stage presence was like a ritualistic, futuristic choreography. Would play like contrast, martial movements, fluid trance-like gestures. Now, the role you played as choreographer, you channel a lot of the ritual energy in this song, embodying the tension between power and questioning. So, in conclusion, can you draw for me, the duality of the songs? Vini Vidi Vici is an external conquest, power, success, cultural spread, and then
you laid it out. Mm-hmm.
Quo Vadis equals internal quest, meaning, direction, and existential search. So for you, what did the victory and destiny mean to you personally during this time? Because it's like you're living out even though, like you said, it's about the Roman Empire underlying underneath and stuff like that, with these Quo Vadis, these terminologies, these phrases are Latin and Roman. So, but at the same time, what did victory and destiny mean personally to you at this time? Or like, were you aware that that's what these songs mean? Or were you just on the surface level, just dancing and going, living in the moment, not really questioning what these songs mean? Or did you understand the deeper meanings to this?
Now I can have the floor.
Yeah, of course, that's a question.
Well, all I can say is on your research, you're bringing out stuff that I didn't even understand, but I seen it at a later time. I love the way you did that, bro. For real, you bringing out information that's actually going on today, because everything you explain is what the Roman Empire has done, realistically in this day and time. But like you just asked me a question. When I was
Right,
doing that,
before
I
you
was
answer
I was
it,
on
let
the
me add
surface,
this too. Let me
huh?
draw this. Let me add this too to the backdrop for the people. In 1995, Germany was a hub for Eurodance. It was multicultural groups, singers, dancers, choreographers from all over the world
That's right.
became symbols of a new European identity. And you being from Detroit but living in Germany represents that global bridge. American rhythm and dance influence meeting European techno classical fusion. So, like I said, Imperial wasn't just music, it was a performance art combining ancient symbols, Latin, Roman imagery, Christian references with futuristic soundscapes. Their enduring appeal comes from this timeless blend. Fans remember not just the beats, but the mythic feelings they evoke. So, like again, what did victory and destiny mean to you personally to this time? How did and I'm gonna ask all these questions together. Also, how did
I mean, you're going in and out a little bit. You're going in and out a bit. Repeat that. You said I'm gonna ask these questions together, and then what you say? What you say?
and you could just I'm gonna let you just go on. and you can add everything in. So what did victory and destiny mean to you personally during these times? And were you aware, like I said, of the meaning of these songs you were portraying, these choreographies and being a part of? And also, how did you bring Detroit dance hip hop energy into the European techno scene? And three, did you see yourself more as a performer, a messenger, or a bridge between cultures? Also, looking back, do you think that Vini Vidi Vici and Quo Vadis represents two sides of your own life story then?
Looking back, yes, I do. Everything you just shared, looking back, I see the truth, the understanding, and the part I played in it. The part I played in it really was spiritually, because the spiritual point I played in is what you're actually bringing out, stuff that I didn't know until later on. But when I got with the group, I was just getting like just like a person got with a group. I'm dancing just like if I got in a new job. I'm helping this job do something, but I don't really know the concept of what the job is really doing. Whether if the job is hurting people or helping people. I didn't know that point. All I knew is that I was performing because there was something that I was sharing with you last week that me and my group, when we grew up, we talking about that we was gonna grow up, we're gonna try to get into business and do what we do. I ended up coming to Germany, and it's all of the creator because I had to go through that, not knowingly, but spiritually. The Father brought me through that to bring me to where the same questions you asking now, I can see them spiritually, because I seen it after I went through my spiritual awakening. And then I look back on my life, I started to see and understand. Because, like I shared before, when I got with Imperial, all I knew was the song. I told the male vocalist, Tyrone Vincent, if we get with it, I said, if it's got a beat to it, it's gonna be a hit. That's all I knew. I didn't understand the concept. I heard Imperial, and Imperial, people used to say, yeah, Imperial. But Imperial was our group name, which is Imperio, Imperial. So I really still had no concept. I had no understanding. Then I understood that Veni Vidi Vici meant I came, I saw, I conquered. Then I understood that it was of the Roman Empire. And that Caesar said this. This is the things that Caesar said. So now pieces are coming together for me, but I still have no understanding. I just got pieces now that's coming together. Still in the world, doing what I'm doing, but just pieces come together for me to get an understanding, but not a full understanding. So now I'm performing. I'm having a great time. I'm in Germany. I'm doing my thing. I didn't, I think last week I shared about the group Smooth Eyes in Motion. That was a year before. Now I done got with Imperial, and we're starting to perform. And as I think I shared last
So
week,
a question like, pardon me, I didn't mean to cut you off. So a question like, what did victory and destiny mean to you personally during that time? Wouldn't make sense because you wasn't really looking at the songs in that way. Of
right. The only victory and destiny was that I made it in the music business career, and I'm performing. That's the only destiny and victory it was for me at that time. Looking at it
well,
on a mundane,
looking back at it, yeah. But
looking
I'm
at
saying
looking.
when I asked that question, that was for like in the present moment, like how you was able to think about how you was thinking in that moment.
That's what I'm talking about in that moment. But looking at it
But looking
today,
back at it, you can maybe break it down
I
better.
can break it down now. Looking back, as I said, when you sit back and look on your life, you can understand things a lot better. At that time, to me, I made it in the business. I made it to a quote unquote star. Got a gold CD. Our first single within the first 3 months, we got to go. We sold and got a quarter of a million, 250,000 of our first single. Put out that first single. From that, then we made the video. Then after the video, we're touring and we're just building. We're building momentum. And all I'm beginning to know is that this is of the Roman Empire. All I know is this is of the Bible. And that's all I understood at that time. And then I don't know if I shared this part yet or not, but after Vinny Beanie VC, Tyrone Vincent and Manuela, what Tyrone Vincent was the head of, he was trying to get me out, kick me out of the group because jealousy was beginning to form, and I don't know why. I think I shared that last week as well. But I don't know why jealousy started to formulate. But we were growing. We was getting big as a group together. And as I was the hype man, choreographer, rapper, and dancer, the producer liked my vibe. He liked my performance. He seen, and he made me a third of the group. So when he made me a third of the group, that's when jealousy started kicking in, and this is when they tried to get me kicked out of the group. And I couldn't get in contact with the producer for quite some time. So I think I shared last week. I believe I did. If I didn't, we went to go do the video. Um, I shared about Karen, what happened with her, uh, and her leg being crank, which is broken. And this was just before we went to go do the first video. So yeah, I believe I shared that last week.
Yeah,
So
this is you're repeating yourself. We already went through all of this. So
right, right. So I'm
let's
just
stay on
saying.
new questions. Let's do talk about new different points. But all right, so listen, here I got some more questions. Setting the stage, life in Germany in the mid-90s. You were from Detroit but living in Germany at this time. Did it
Mhm.
like you were conquering new ground personally, kind of like a Vidi Vidi Vici moment?
Hmm. Kind of, yeah, kind of, but I can't. I can't really. Yeah, my head isn't. I don't believe I ever had a big head, so I couldn't
So you
say.
wasn't looking at it in that term. You was just kind of like happy and just going
I
with the
was just having a great time. That's all I really was doing. I was just having. I didn't come over there thinking I wasn't stuck up. I would party with the people, but I will say this. Um, Cause we was about to get into Quo I hadn't got to that yet because this is where we're gonna move from Benny and Beach into Quo but I
Oh
didn't get
no,
a
I'm
chance
not
to.
done. You're gonna get more chances. We're not even off, nowhere near off Quo Vadis. Like I'm
No,
gonna
we
keep
haven't even
going
got
back
to
and
Quo
forth.
yet.
Huh?
We haven't even gotten to Quo yet.
Well, no, that's the song. Where are you going? We talked about it already.
No, you spoke on it. I was getting ready to talk on it, but you wanted me to hold up and wait.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's plenty of chances because I got more questions, like about everything. About I'm kind of just going in order. So just kind of like answer the question, and then I'll ask another one, and then
Okay. Well,
we're not,
mostly
we're
stay
not
stay
trying to go
right
in a
now. With mostly
chronological
stay
order.
at the point of Beanie Beanie Beatsy because Quo is a whole nother genre era, but it's still a part of what you were saying. I got that as a part of what you're saying because I understand being in the mix of Vinny Vinny VC was more like conquering, and that's what actually was going on in the world, but also with what we was doing with the music. But as you was sharing, Cold is on a whole different level according to what it was meaning, according to what you was asking as well.
All right. So listen. What did victory? No, I already asked you that question. Wait, no, I didn't. All right. So all right, I'm gonna ask, what was the energy like in Germany's music scene compared to Detroit? Did you feel out of place or right at home?
I felt right at home. Um, I felt right at home because um, they had the techno over there, which Detroit style was techno at the time, but they had more like a techno beat, like like 808 beat. They had Dr. Dre, when Dre's beat, and they had Egypt, Siberian Night, and stuff like that here in Detroit. They had a few of those songs over there, but majority of those songs and music over there was on that same level, but more like a little bit higher tone when it came to the dance floor style, you know. So, and I met a lot of different stars over there that some of the songs that made it over here as well. And some were still trying to migrate come this way. But yeah, I had a great, like I said, I had a great time. I mean, when I was performing, it was like I was in heaven. That's all I can say.
All right, so question. When people look back at the Euro dance movement, they often call it the soundtrack of an era. What did it feel like being inside that era, creating the sound and image?
What did it feel like? Hmm. I couldn't say actually mostly what it actually felt like, besides just being in a great spot, a great time, being a star. I just have to say it like that because I'm not, I don't like tooting my horn like that, but being in a star status, performing, touring, people loving you, it was just man, it was just beautiful, and that's mostly where my mind is at. And I mean, other than that, I had much respect. Um, it was beautiful, It's
Okay,
a
that's good. Let me get to the next one. All right, so as the role of a performer, as a choreographer and hype man, you weren't just moving to the music, you were embodying the spirit of the songs. How did you approach that?
the spirit of the song. Let's say, okay, that question I can go with this. With Vinny Beatty BC, it's a certain song that everybody hears. It's not a song, it's a chant or whatever of Roman Empire that you may hear today. When I listen to music, it's like I'm engulfed with it and I can kind of put something to it, whatever it is. And when I heard certain things, I just know what to do. So my spirit, I guess that's where my spirit is when it comes to music. So with Beanie Beanie VC, it was more like it was the Roman style, Roman Beanie Beanie VC. Now I can't even think dun 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 sound like soldiers, and marching. And that was just that I would adapt to whatever that music was and how it would go.
Yeah, so
So
you embody the spirit of soldiers and stuff like that. Okay.
yeah, because the Roman soldier, that was Rome. Rome conquered. They conquered everywhere they went. And like I said, at the time, I was oblivious. I was ignorant to what real Rome was doing to the world. But all I knew is that I was performing in that genre and I was moving spiritually accordingly, not even understanding what I was doing. But when Quo Vadis came, it was more like a oh, Quo Vadis. I can't sing it like that, but and that was more of the type of an orchestra. And then it, like I said, it in Quo Vadis, it was I say it was a prophecy in there that was spoken. You may have heard it. It was spoken in there that's happening with me today. And just before I came and said, break this beat, break this beat, break this beat and stomp your feet. That's what he had me saying. Just before that would come in, he'd have like an insert say, how it go? It said, a change for the future. That there, that insert is what's going on today. That insert, a change. It said, is it a change for the future or something for the future? I can't remember how it go right off. But when it says something for the future, you can hear and then you'll hear me say, break this beat, break this beat, break this beat, and then stomp your feet. So that's what I was saying. That was my lyric that they had me saying. The producer did. So that insert is what I'm doing today. That insert is what I went through. That little insert. And you know what? It resonated with me. When I listened to the song, it resonated with me when I'm doing the performances. It resonated with me. I didn't know how. I didn't understand what, why, or in what way until after I went through my spiritual awakening to find out the things and understand what I'm doing today.
Now wait a minute.
That being in Quo Vadis, and then it says where you go, because if you notice at the end of Quo Vadis, we blew the world up. The whole world exploded. And really what it was is just like you were sharing in your questions earlier.
Robotics, isn't that when you guys escaped the world? You were escaping the world
We
because
was on a spaceship. We was on a spaceship.
yeah, you guys were leaving. Like the Roman Empire had destroyed it with war, and it's like they were leaving,
That's why it says where
going
you
into
go.
an
We was like in
future,
space. And
going
you
into
wouldn't
an unknown.
believe it was a movie that came out back in the day with Louis Gossett Jr. and I believe what's his name? Kevin Kevin Costner, I believe it was, named Enemy Mine. We actually did it on the set of Enemy Mine. If you ever look up or go into the old movies back in the day, it was a movie where spaceships had humans and alien beings as slaves, and they had this collar they had not too long. They had a few years back. These collars around your neck that used for Bluetooth, same thing, just like them, but they was around their neck. And what it was is we was when we first started off, we be down in the cave where it was like some type of underground dragon or whatever. We was actually in that cave, and then we end up after the first point of it, we end up being in a spaceship. We was on both of those was on the set of Enemy Mine. Enemy Mind. And, and that's where Kevin Costner and Louis Gossett Jr. It was an alien and a human, and they became friends, and they was trying to fight and whatever. But that was on that ship, and also while I was there, they had the real alien. I took a picture with him in one of the magazines, like I was holding his jaw. Once the mouth come out, I was holding his jaw, and she was standing on the other side of the tall it wasn't a statue. It was not a statue, but it was a figurine of the alien, the actual alien. Man, that was a good time. That was Covadis, and that there, like I said, it was beautiful. And when I did that video, and also when they made a compilation, and the video started off, and I had never seen the video yet. I had already went and did it, but when they made the compilation, I was happened to be at home with my woman and my brother-in-law, or her brother, should I say. We was all looking at TV, and I remember I hear him saying, "Stomp your beat, stomp your," say, "Break this beat, break this beat, break this beat, and stomp your feet." I went to the television. I came up, "Break this beat and stomp your feet," like that came in, and I looked, and it said, "Wow!" It started the whole video. That point of the video, I mean, the commercial started the whole video, and then it started talking about all the other compilation. But that point, I started the whole, man. Man. You don't know how that feel to see yourself on nationwide TV starting in the commercial, and you hyping it up, and you getting the camera like that, man. It's beautiful. Oh, and it's on the video. As a matter of fact, if you go to Quobatis and see the video when we was on the ship, when you look at the whole video, you'll see me doing it you'll see me coming to the camera like that. And that's how I started the commercial. I was like, man, I was shocked. I was like, man, and then another thing just wanted to share with you. I never saw myself dance before. Before that time, I never actually saw myself dancing. And I always could feel the moves, whatever, I always can feel it, but I never saw myself. But when I saw myself in Quobatis, I was like, man, boy, he can throw. And then I said, that's me. But I was shocked at the fact of seeing myself dancing. To me, was the first time seeing myself dance on national TV, as well as just actually looking at the video. Even in Benny Benny BC, I got little. I'm just a dancer, so I'm doing certain things. I see myself spin. I see myself doing certain things. But when I saw that one, it blew my mind. It blew my mind, and I was like, man, I was shocked. So yeah, man. All I can say is that I had a great time, and I was just in heaven, in the mind at that time. I was like in heaven. But I
When
was
this
just in
producer
heaven,
was
man, doing what I
having you
want to
say,
do.
you hear me, bro?
I'm listening now. I can hear you.
Yo, I said when this producer is having you say stuff, you guys aren't talking about the lyrics and what they mean. He just has you say it and you just say it.
That's his production. He had me come in. He
I
had
know,
me.
but like when you're a group, I know sometimes people just at least you guys just didn't have just casual discussions about, hey, this is what this means, this is the meaning, and this is like.
Bruh, I'm just glad to be there because this is my first time. When you first getting in. Now, if I was there for some years and I was able to pull some clout or what have you, it'd probably been a different story. But this was my first year, and this was like in quote
So
I
you're
was like,
not like
maybe
really friends or family. This is more just like this is a job.
say that again.
So you're not like friends or family. This is more like this is a job, basically.
Yeah, more like a job. That's what I'm saying. It was like I said. I got with him at first. I was a hype man, choreographer, rapper, and dancer. He loved when it came to my performance, whatever it was when it come to me dancing. I had free range. When it come to the floor and me dancing, I had free reign to do what I want to do. But when it came to the producing and the lyrics and all, that was him.
Did you remember? Do you ever remember having discussions about your dance moves and how what he wanted you to portray or what you
No,
wanted?
no, we ain't have to do none of that. I didn't have to. I didn't have to. I mean, I was
He
like,
didn't ever say like
I
you
was
know
kind
like
of like
when.
Barry Sanders
Hold on,
or
son. Hold on, son. I'm trying to frame the question. Like so like how to like directors when they are working with actors and they say I want you to think that you're in this, they tell you how they want you to get into a certain mode or what the energy they want you to draw up. He never had to tell you anything. You guys never had to have these type of uh
no, because he know it's just like me. Let me put it like this: I'm a choreographer. If
Mhm.
a person say, "Well, I want you to do this," I want you to make a routine to this song, and he give me the song, I go make the routine. If I come back, ain't no questions asked. You asked me to do it. This is my art. This is my art. This is my work.
But
So the
that's like
same thing
director.
with
Like, listen, what I'm trying to say is like how directors and actors, right? Actors are like you could be the best actor in the world and you could be the best director in the world, but at the same time, you guys still have to communicate and convey. Now, sometimes there's a lot of it where it's easy, yeah, and there's nothing. The director does his part and the actor does his part, and it pretty much works out well. But there's sometimes where you might need to communicate, and I'm just trying to say there was never any points of communication with you guys. It was always
that's
just
right.
like.
That's what I'm trying to share with you. He made the music. He made the music. All I know is that if I got a beat and I can dance to it, that's it. That's his music.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying?
But you never even had to explain to him as a choreographer, listen, this is the reason why I'm making this move, or this is why, not because he questioned it, but just because you want him to understand choreography and why you make these moves.
No.
Kind of like how I was just saying, like everything in a frame or in a music or in a picture is to portray a message. Like you
That's
never had
right.
wanted to share your message of why you doing things to him with your moves.
Well, let me ask you this. When you listen to the music, what did you and everything you explained, how did you come to your conclusion with your questions, with what you heard and what you explaining?
Just re-listening to things, listening to certain points, certain like motions, or like you said, like the costumes, the lighting, the direct, everything draws a point. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
said.
and that's mainly what I'm trying to share with you. Everything was his production. Only thing I added was my dance moves. Everything was his production. He paid for everything, everything that was, it was the producer's production. All
So
I did was
even the rap you wrote, you didn't really write
everything
it.
was his.
You didn't even write that.
I
Yeah.
ain't write it. Nope.
That's kind of deep right there.
Yeah.
That draws it up in a different way because it's like now it's just like more of like a job, like a parrot. Like, you say this and you just say it. Like, you know what I mean? And that's
I
it.
mean, but you got to understand. I came in under his genre. It's just like me doing my alkaline water, right?
Hmm.
When I hire somebody, they have to do the work that I have to show them what I want done. Now,
No, that's just
how
like I was
now
an
how they
example.
make their sales,
Well,
they
no,
have
that's like
to
the
have their
example of the
own
actor.
charisma to make
That's
their own sales because they know how to make their sale, but it's my product, and I can't let them come in here and tell me, well, you ought to add a little more of this or take it. No, this is my product, this way I got it, and this way I want it. So, and some things people do, but the whole thing is, like I said, I was only with them for a year. Now, maybe down the line, if we was about still with them maybe 5, 6 years, it may could have came to something like that. But I was just with them for a year. I was glad to be where I was. And I was glad to take my talent, use my talent, and put my talent on display to show them what I have compared to what he was giving. You understand what I'm saying?
So that's different. So it's like they had more of the Vici as the producer, but for you it was more like Quo Vadis. Where are you going with all of this? What is your purpose is choreography, but where are you going with it? You know what I mean? Because it's their production. You're kind
Yeah.
of like going along their journey, even though it's like you are adding your choreography to it, but it's like because they want you. You know what I mean? They want you under their it's like their role, their strength or whatever under
Yeah,
their.
it was like I'm a choreographer for hire.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's like I'm for hire and I got paid for my work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? See, everything that everybody do, they do things differently. Sometimes, like over here in America, when we like let's just say New Edition. When New Edition got together, but I didn't know Bobby Brown started the group. I didn't know that. I still ain't seen the movie yet. I still ain't seen the series or whatever of New Edition yet. But all I'm saying is that I didn't know Bobby Brown started it, but they had Ralph Transvest being the lead singer. You see what I'm saying?
Well, no, I'm looking at more things from artist appreciation, where two different worlds of or genres of art come together and they respect each other enough to like appreciate and want to know more about the art, and that's how you learn and grow. Like the more you learn in the arts, from appreciating by respecting it and saying, "Yo, why how do you do this or why you move like this?" It's not as a way to question you or not to question your
I know what you mean.
it's
But
to understand and to learn and grow because you have a love for the art. So it wasn't really so much any love. It was just like you said, it was more so like an assignment. Like you know
Well,
what I mean?
put it like this: it was love for me. That's the reason why Tyrone Vincent and
Well,
he
yeah, it was love for you, but you didn't take the time to ever ask them, yo, what does these lyrics mean? You just kind of
I
just
did ask. That's how I found out about Benny Benny BC and what Corvallis mean. But what I'm trying to share with you is
Ja
this.
Rule had a whole album called Vini Vidi Vici in the same year that you basically around the same time that you was doing this, he had a rap album, Vini Vidi Vici, Ja Rule, yeah. So I
You know
fuck
what?
with
I
Ja
heard
Rule.
a few things on the Roman thing going on at the same time we was doing that around that time of 95, 94, and
Well, it
95.
was the late '90s. I don't know if it was exactly '95. It might have been maybe a few years after your Vini Vidi Vici, but
Right,
yeah, Ja Rule had a whole album, and that's where I learned where that word. That's the first time I ever really heard that word, Vini Vidi, that phrase, Vini Vidi Vici,
right.
from him, and then I looked it up, and I understand. I same, I saw, I conquer.
Right. A lot of Roman situations was going on at that time, back at that time. A lot of spiritual things was happening. When I say spiritual things, I'm talking about mainly coming out vocally and sharing things vividly according to on televisions and videos and stuff like that back at that time. And it was a change in time at that time.
So these
Time
would
was
be more like questions for him to answer as far as like and when it comes down to the symbology and the meaning, because he's the one who wrote the actual song titles and come up with the concepts. I'm
Well,
thinking,
let me add this, which God did just hit me. I remember we used to ask Norbert, or I used to talk to Norbert's parents, with a little bit, they could speak a little English. Or it was somebody that, because I'm older than Norbert, which was the producer. I think I was maybe about 5 or 6 years, maybe older than him. But the point is, um, he had a brilliant mind when it come to making. I remember they said he'd been in the school that boom, 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 boom. He had a brilliant mind when it came to making music, and from what was told to me, that's why whatever he had, I could bring my genre to his genre, and we can mush or whatever, mesh the combination what he had, his music, whatever he had with my dancing talent. And that's what I believe really grew us the way we did. And that's where I see it because the questions I did, we talked, we got to know each other. But like I said, I was just glad to be there. I was glad to be in the position to do what I was doing. Didn't really get a chance to really. It was coming, but jealousy, a lot of jealousy fell in
position
with,
of
with my performance.
he played more the position of Vini Vidi Vici, and you play more the position of Quo Vadis. Like, where am I going with this? I'm just happy to be a part of everything, but I don't really have a direction with everything. It's just that like you said, I'm part of this now, and that's what it is. And I get it. So that's peace.
Disturbance of the future. Disturbance of the future, change for the future, something of the future. I can't remember what it is right now, but it's in the song. It just bugs me. I can't remember what it say. But I'm living that right now. Oh, that's prophecy.
Well, yeah, the future. You don't really always. A lot of us don't know the future, unless we really writing it out. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't have a plan. Like it's just like you were going with the flow. Like you said, you ended up in Germany because your sister asked you. It wasn't like, yo, you had this grand plan. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Germany and this is gonna happen. Like, no, you kind of just like went with the destiny of the future, not and just being free and moving along with that destiny. You know what I mean? And just enjoying, like you said, living in the moment, not really so much planning. Like
Right.
to conquer, you have to plan. Like on some Veni Vidi Vici, in order to really conquer the world, it's not just gonna happen by chance. You gotta really plan it out and map it out and be strategic.
Like Caesar in Rome did.
Right. And whereas like the Quo Vadis is more just like, let's just get in this rocket and see where it takes us. We don't know what's out there, but we're gonna be brave enough to get in the rocket and take off and just go.
And that's mostly like you said, that's more like my
So
life.
you are more like the Quo Vadis, like, just where am I going and what's my purpose? I'll figure it out as I go, type of thing. Well, that's
Yep.
yeah, that pretty much covers the Quo Vadis and the yeah, I noticed in the lyrics she says for Quo Vadis too. It says, "I got to know the way. I got a price to pay. I got to take control." Wait, no, it goes, "I got to know the way. I got a price to pay. I gotta search my soul. I gotta know the way tonight," or something like that. I gotta take
Yep.
control my soul. I got a flight tonight. I gotta make this flight tonight. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's more like in the line with what it's like you're leaving Earth, you're leaving Detroit. I gotta know the way. I gotta take control. You know what I mean? Your life was kind of at a point where you was a little bit out of control.
Yeah, I think that was Vinny Vinny Vici.
No, this is Quo Vadis. I definitely took notes of the song while I'm watching it. This is Quo Vadis. Matter of fact,
What
pull
did
it.
she say? No, no, no. I gotta take control. That was Vinny
Listen,
Vinny
hey,
Vici.
hold on, because I want to remind you that both songs have very simple. Imperial goes, "I got to let you take control," but I mean not Imperial. Vini Vidi Vici says, "I got to let you take control," and
That's right.
that's just it. But then on Quo Vadis, it says, "I got to know the way." She's using
I
that
got the price to pay.
They both have "I got to." You get what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
kept flowing with that "I got to" on both songs. I got to go. It worked on what you call it. So then he just switched it to "I got to know the way." So they both have this chant. I got to know the way. But yeah, it's definitely Quo Vadis that has that with the one I just said
right. That's
about
true. That's right.
the but they both have that "I got to" chant type thing. It's something that's definitely, must happen. "I got to" is in both of those sentences, which means, is no ifs, ands, or buts about it that this must take place. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
sure about that. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then at the end of the video, they're leaving Earth looking as the earth looks burning on fire with Roman soldiers. So
There you go.
it's basically the Roman soldiers have fucking burnt everything down in the wars of, you know what I mean, to the point where the few people who have a chance to escape are willing to get into this rocket ship, like, and I got to know I gotta take control and get the fuck up out of here and get in this thing and get in flight and get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Looking back at that, like looking back at it, like when you realize, this is how what the symbology of it means. How can you realize, right now what it means and how close that is to what life is like for you now? Like,
What life is for me right now on that
but that
point
not
is,
just that part of the question, the whole part of the question.
well, everything, like I was saying, everything back then, I was just happy to be there. Where I am right now, I understand why I went through all these things I went through, why I am today. And that's why I'm saying I have to put scripture here to let be understood.
Yeah, answer it however you want to. Yeah.
Yeah. Genesis 1 1, and I share this all the time. Genesis 1 1 through 5. Genesis 1, and as in a sense, your questions kind of add up the same way. Genesis 1 1 through 5. Genesis 1 1, the creator seen everything from beginning to end. Genesis 1 1, seeing everything. I look at that same situation with how you asked me is that the creator set all this up for me for just in my life from Germany to coming all the way back to Detroit. The father seen all that. And when I sat back and look at my life, I can see the steps on how everything was already planned out before I even went through them. Or after I went through them, I can see how I went through it and it was already planned out for me. By me going through those steps, I'm like, I see, just like the creator seen everything from day one in 1 1 from beginning to end. When he said, in the beginning, God made heaven and the earth. He seen everything right there. But verse 2 says, the earth was void and without form, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. This is Rome taking over the whole earth. This is Rome. This is what's going on today. Rome has taken over the whole earth, the last point of all four beasts that has arisen. But now Rome is over the whole earth, has taken over everything. Now, then it says, then the Spirit of God moved upon the waters, which is the people. Darkness was the earth was darkened without form. That's the people without understanding. What Rome has did by giving everybody darkness and understanding in the mindset. Now we
Wait,
have
hold on. You know what that also reminds me of? Kind of like you was, like you said, you didn't really know the meaning of these songs too. You was in the darkness,
that's right.
like how I was saying about the dumb. I'm mostly intrigued by, not calling you dumb. I'm just
No,
saying,
no, 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 no. You won't 100% correct.
yeah, the dumb.
Not just me, but the world.
Dumb are mostly intrigued by the drum. They're not answering. They just dancing to the beat. They don't really question, yo, what the fuck are we dancing to? Well, listen
There
to
you
what they're
go.
saying. Listen to the lyrics. Listen to the whole theme and the motive and what the message of this song. Why are we dancing to this? But no, it's because of if they put beat a certain frequency
There you go,
to
bruh.
it, and people will just, like you said, they'll dance without even questioning. Yo, do you hear what the fuck they're saying in this song? Like,
Right.
why are we
Same with
dancing?
the music of today. What you just, bruh, now you see, we on point. We on point. This is what I'm saying, that this is where I am today, up just Genesis 1 through 5. Excuse me. But this is where majority of us are at until we start waking up to start to see where the creation really starts at. But right now, we're in the spiritual aspect, the deep, dark void of understanding first, not only just what I was then, but the whole world under the Roman Empire, because the Roman Empire has changed everything. And it talks about that in Daniel chapter 2, verse 36. Yeah, 30, I say from 36, but actually verse 39 and 40, talking about the Greek and then the Roman Empire, which has took rule over the whole earth, which is what happened. And then it said in Genesis 1, verse 2, the second half of 2, then it says, the spirit of Yah moved upon the waters. The people are the waters. Those are the ones who are changing back to the right mindset and who the spirit is coming upon, and they're going to start keeping the law. This is what's going on today. This what happened to me. I woke up. When I went through my spiritual awakening, the spirit came upon me. Now, it didn't happen like that, but after my spiritual awakening, throughout time, I started to wake up. Like I say, this is my 30th year going through, since my spiritual awakening, and I have woken with the spirit of the Creator upon me.
All right,
And
now wait, hold on, just stop now. So now for me, I'm looking at dual meanings of these. I'm still on this Imperial Quo Vadis and Vini.
Nostra Cooper,
Yeah, I don't know. You keep saying that song, but that when you gave me a list of songs, that was not even in none of. I don't think that's
that's
even
number three. There's only three of them that I did.
really because I don't have no notes on this song at all. Like that's why it's bugging me out because it's like out of all the deep dive I did, maybe I'll just completely skip that one because I don't have no notes at all on this Nostra Cooper song. Let me see, make sure I didn't just lose them or something. But like, yeah, I only have two songs. That's why I haven't referred to this one at all. So for now, let's just not even bring that one up
I
because
think I sent you a list of all the songs. I
well,
did
yeah, I
all the
got all your
videos.
songs. I got all the songs you did. Like I don't know during that time. That's not Imperial, and I got questions on those too, and I have the two songs is that I because I know you had live versions of one of the songs. I guess there was a live version, or you guys two versions of the same song live, and then there's the two videos, Quo Vadis um and Vini Vidi Vici, but then there's two versions of the live version of one of those songs, twice of different live from different places live. But I don't think I ever got. Maybe you did. Maybe I just overlooked it because it was so much in the one list. But maybe I missed it or something like that. But like yeah, I had to go back and look at that one because you keep saying that one, but I don't even have that one at all. No questions at all on it. So no, I'm not. When I question you, it's not. I don't know nothing about that song, so it can't be about that one. But yeah, so the dual meaning of the two songs, again, the two that really anyway that have the two like dualistic meanings for me, it's like is that again the deeper listening, when you do the deeper listening of where is your life heading? It's like an existential, spiritual, versus Vini Vidi Vici is like the outside world, achievement, success, cultural conquest, and that's kind of like how you said you was making it. You had the gold record. You were in the group. You were successfully part of reaching a dream, being a choreographer, because that was something your whole life was based around in Detroit. Basically, when you left, you was like dancing, and that was like a big thing you grew up doing from the time you grew up until the time of even your
Oh, I don't
adult.
know why this thing just going out. It seems like it's almost every other word is going in and out.
Don't worry, y'all. Yo, you didn't get the new computer yet, son. You gotta go
Hey,
get that.
bruh, the funds is bills paying, and I was
Hey,
gonna get it.
what about taking it to the shop? You didn't just try to maybe even just take.
Yeah, I took it to one. I took it to one, and I took it to one that I took. I haven't been back over that side of town to the other one I took it to, but oh man, this mother's just tripping. So it's kind of old. I need to get the new one, but this mother just it's just old. I got to get me another one soon.
Yeah, but okay. So anyway, the Veni Vidi Vici was the outside world, but the Quo Vadis is like the inner world, searching, questioning, and destiny. So this is like a credible angle because it's like at that time you're living both songs. You conquering a new ground in Europe. You conquering Europe, because you leave in Detroit in a way where it's like, yo, you had to leave, go conquer something new out there in a way of life, you know what I mean? And
And
now,
in a sense, what you're saying, it sounds like Benny BC was when I was here in Detroit going through certain situations with my ex. And then Corvallis is where you go. Me when I up and left, and then when she found out I was gone, she like, shocked. And
well,
it's
nah, because you weren't I wouldn't look at Detroit as Vini Vidi Vici because you was losing at that time. Your girl is kicking you out, you're getting put out, you're beefing. You're not conquering anything at that point. You know what I mean? So your conquering doesn't start until you touch down in Germany. You know what I mean? And then from there, it's like the inner world. Quo Vadis is like your inner world search, asking where are you going with this whole destiny now that you've conquered Germany? Where is this taking you? But then, like you said, you get like you said, a spiritual awakening. So what ultimately, how did you end up out of Imperial, or did you leave Imperial, or like what I know you end up telling me you left your kid's mother from out there. What's her name? What was her name?
Karen. But
Karen.
that we way past a lot of stuff I wanted to share on that point.
What you mean? What you mean we're way past it?
Because there was a lot of things I wanted to share going into Corvallis.
Oh, into the Quo Vadis era? Okay.
I hadn't even got to that yet. We jumped from Vinny Beast because I didn't even get a chance to share with you about when I performed for Pepsi. Um, there's a lot of things that I missed coming into that, and how I got out of how I ended up being the lead vocal. I didn't even get to that.
Yeah, because I saw some afterwards Imperial, and it's like, yo, this must be the time he left because I didn't see you was around the video, like there's a time machine video where the guy's like running around in time, and it's like you seen that video before?
Uh-uh.
He's like running the time machine and he's going back in time. And I forgot the name of the song. It's a good song and it's a good concept in the video, but I noticed you wasn't in it. I think it's 1996. So you, like you said, you wasn't in the group but a year, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I was in there 90, 94 and 95.
yeah. So
That
yes.
that one you talking about right there, they must have just got this new guy now. I think his name is Lawrence. Me and him end up meeting each other on Facebook before they shut down my last Facebook page, and we had a chance to have a few conversations on that. And I think he was the one who sent me a couple of my pics that I have on my information as well. That I
Yeah,
have
I watched that 90s. I was looking for
my
more
files.
videos. I was looking for more videos, and I wish I'd have knew that Nostra Cooper was one I could have did some research on because it was like, damn, it's only these two videos and these live videos. I didn't really listen to the full album either because it was like, I just wanted to see you in the action and see the joints, the videos or whatever.
You did get the album though, right?
I saw the full album one. Yeah, I didn't listen to it end to end because it's like, what's the purpose in that? I just
You
really
can
want.
actually hear me on there too. I actually gave my shout out on there too.
Oh, word. See, I didn't know that. I wish you would have put the track. I would have listened to this
It's
actual.
on there. You can see it when you open it up and you
Like
see
I
me
see the CD cover where you was on the cover of the CD.
and it's on there. It shows you on there where me and her. She'll come in first and I'll come in second. And I say, from Detroit,
Oh,
oh
really?
yeah. You would
Yeah. All
listen
right.
to it.
See, that's something else. Give me something else to go back and listen to. Then the Nostra Cooper and that. I'm gonna definitely go back in and tune into that. But yeah. So just the Vinny. And let me see. Is there any more things? So you said I jumped ahead by asking because you haven't even got to Quo
That's
Vadis.
what I was about to start telling you. Then you said, wait, we'll get to that. So we almost
Okay,
we
all right.
almost
So
missed them
look,
out.
I asked a lot of the questions. I'll let you go to the Quo Vadis, and then if it's more I want to bring up that you might make me want to bring up,
There
uh,
you go.
I'll go back to that. Yeah.
There
So
you go. We can do that. So where I stopped off at last week, from what I remember, I remember talking about the
wait, hold on. How many people are watching this? Is anybody watching this?
no, ain't nobody on right now, as far as I
Yeah.
know.
Uh,
No, nobody's on that.
I
And
was
if it
just
is,
curious.
sometimes I be noticing or I hear that a lot of people say they watch it, but they don't. They be incognito. They don't be on the phone. Well, they don't be on where I can see them. So it'll be a lot of time people in the background looking because there's one person on right now on Facebook that just popped up. But what I'm saying is a lot of people being incognito, and when I be speaking, I don't see them. But then when they said, yeah, I be looking. A lot of people tell. I said, really? I can't tell. So either they come on later or they're checking me out while I'm talking and just being incognito. I don't know.
Mm.
But just to share a little bit of information, right after the like I said, after getting the gold CD, and I shared the story last week about Karen's leg being cranked, being broken. Shared that. Then I had my first spiritual anointing. Had my first spiritual anointing. Just before I went to go do the video of Beanie BC in Cologne, Germany. That was in October of 94. That was October of 94. We went and did the video for Beanie BC. And after that, now we're touring. We're touring. We're touring. We're going around all through. Austria was our main space. We was all over Austria, Vienna, Austria, Wales, Austria, and many other places throughout Austria. And then we performed, I believe, in Amsterdam and also in Germany as well. We was, like I said, we were out there. Now it comes to time. I was telling about Tyrone Vincent. And I think I told you about the Keep It To Yourself. This is why I made Keep It To Yourself. I think I shared that last week. I came over with Keep It To Yourself, and when I did that song, or should I say the first verse to that, they looked back at me with their mouth wide open. So now after this, now Tyrone is starting to forget. Now he didn't forget me. He's leaving me purposely. He's leaving me purposely because he's trying to get me kicked out the group. Now I don't have Norbert's number no more because Norbert, I don't know if he changed his number, what happened, whatever happened, but Tyrone wouldn't give me Norbert's number. I couldn't get in contact with him. By me not getting in contact with him, so Tyrone is leaving me and he's telling Norbert one thing and he's making it look like I'm not coming on purpose. This is what Tyrone Vincent is doing. So now end up, I think what it was is that all happened after Pepsi. That's what it was. When we performed for Pepsi, we did our intro, our introduction, and we did our song, which we had same song we did about 2 or 3 times, but in different ways. Did choreography to them, but it was another song that I did. It was an instrumental. You know how we do a dance off instrumental. So I had a full instrumental for myself, right? And what happened was this was a Pepsi concert. I mean, when I say a Pepsi concert, I mean, it was, I want to say thousands of people, but it was hundreds of people out there, right? And it was a big stage, and it was 3 or 4 different groups. And I think we was like number 2 or 3 before the main. It was another group called, I can't even think of the name right now. It's in my mind, but I can't even think of the name right now. But whatever the name is, we were one that we were hot. We was well known. So what happened was after me, Tyrone, and Manuela, we would perform. I think they did one song together while I went back and got a little bit of rest because I had to perform while they go back and change. So they did a perform together because I got off stage. And then I came back out and then they had a song. Norbert had a song which started off real slow. And I had the mic. And I had everybody put their hands in the air. I said, wave your hands like you just don't care. I'd be just pumping it up and stuff. The beat will start off real slow. And as we go, the beat will start to speed up. And I had them going boom, 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 boom. Man, I stepped back. I turned around to the stage. I put that mic down. I stepped back. I turned and did a spin, and I got off. When I say, when I say I got off, I did the whole song. It wasn't like I did man, bruh, I got off. And I did that, like when we did our shows, I would do that every night. But that Pepsi took it. That's when he made me a third of the group. Norbert Wright just seen, he seen how I performed that night. He made me a third of the group. And I'm going to tell you, when I got off stage, when I was walking to the back, now I'm going to tell you something, and I don't like this, but I'm going to tell you because I'm truthful. I'm truthful and what have you, whatever, right? Now, and I really don't want to say it because I didn't initiate it, but it caught me by surprise. And Tyrone was a little like, well, not little, he was like that, so he was, he wasn't flamboyant. He was a male type of, gay. He was gay. But he was over there. I was who I was. I had my woman and stuff like that, So what happened was after I got off stage, man, after I got off stage, he was walking in front of me, right? And the crowd was going, Michael, Michael, Michael. They were screaming my name, not Imperial, but Michael. They knew. I still went by Juice, but they, Michael, Michael, Michael. Man, the crowd was screaming my name. So I'm walking right, and Tyrone in front of me, think man was in back of me or inside me. He turned around and kissed me. I was like, man, be kissing me, get off me, man. I'm just gone because, like I said, I didn't know he was gonna do that, and he did that. Get off me, So, and it was he was just happy with us, but still, I don't play that. So he walked on, and there was a guy, big guy. I don't know who he was. He landed on the lockers on the side with his left foot up on the locker, right? And I'm walking back, right? And he asked me, he said, do you know who I am? And I said, no, who are you? He spoke English. I am such and such and such and such. And he started walking off. Like I put, bleep, bleep, bleep. I didn't know who he was. I looked at him, I said, and I just walked this way. I went back to my dressing room. So, and after that is when Tyrone started trying to plot and get me kicked out the group because I was rising. And it wasn't me because I always looked at us as a group. I was always, I came in as a group. He got me in, came in as a group. We building together. I'm doing the choreography. He's singing. She doing. I'm hyping. I'm doing the rapping. Just not making up rap and stuff. Like I said, I'm you know, I'm, um, I'm doing the hype man. I'm doing everything they do, to keep the crowd going and making like raps off my mind and stuff like that, and just talking. Next, like I said, he started being jealous. I missed two shows after that, two big shows, because he left me. We would go out at first. Norbert would rent a car. We would take a car and we would ride out. I had my license; he couldn't drive. I'm driving or traveling out to Austria. Now all of a sudden, he gets his own way, and I got to find my way out there. So I had to find my way out to perform 2 or 3 times, not knowing what. And it was each time just got there, I made it to the place where our room was at. Because we always had a hotel. Made it to the place where our room was at. Next thing you know, they said, "Well, no, they're going to perform." So I had to go, I had to get dressed or whatever, go to where the performance was. Soon as I get there, they said we just got off stage. Norbert still had to see, I guess, he knew the business, and they looking for 3 of us, but only 2 showed up to perform. So 2 of them showed up. I don't know if Norbert still had to pay the money, or they still paid, they only paid him for 2 performers or whatever. I don't know how that went, but Norbert started getting upset because I wasn't showing up. I don't know if Tyrone was telling him that 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 I wasn't coming, or I don't know what he was saying, but I just know that I'm hearing Norbert's getting upset. He's about to put me out the group. You know, See, Tyrone is strategically trying to get me put out because jealousy is sitting there now. So
Hey, yo, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now.
Where's Tyrone?
He's the one in Vinny Vinny Vici.
Wait, he's the one with the leopard hair with
That's
the
him. Yeah,
because he the one saying the rap in that song. Like,
that's right. He's the male vocalist.
yeah, I meant to ask about him earlier too, but some said ask about him, and then I kind of forgot to ask about. So that's I was gonna ask you because you know what, that hairstyle was way ahead of his time. Like I've it's people who wear stuff like that now, and that
He
was like
was like that before Dennis Rodman.
well, Dennis Rodman was out before '95, but like yeah, like but
No, no,
the
no, no,
way
no.
I'm
What
talking
I'm
about
saying is,
to the detail this guy had it is like how they would do
what
it
I'm
now.
saying is, when Dennis Rodman was with the San Fernando, what's their name? The basketball team, the Spurs. I think their name was. When I came back, he was wearing his hair like that. Tyrone was doing his hair long before Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, but Dennis Rodman was doing that when he was on the Bulls. He was on the
That
Bulls
was
before
before
the.
the Bulls. I was back here at that time.
I'm talking about the Spurs was after the Bulls.
No, the Spurs were before the Bulls.
No, because
I'm,
listen to me, bro. Robin played for the Pistons first. Then he went to the Bulls and started wearing the
you
Wild
want
Wild
to bet
colors.
on it? You want to bet me on it?
Oh no, I ain't betting, but we gonna look it up right now.
Wait, I tell you, look it up while I'm telling my story. You're going to definitely come back and share with me because he left the Spurs and then went to the Bulls.
Oh, I'm about to look it up right now.
Guaranteed. I'll bet you on that. But while you're looking that up, like I said, Tyrone was trying to get me kicked out, and I missed a couple of shows. And I think the third show, this guy named Wolfgang, he said, yeah, he said, don't let Tyrone know, because I know Tyrone, I guess he was trying to control everything. Tyrone's trying to control everything. So he told Wolfgang told me, I'm gonna give you Norbert's number. You can talk to him, and don't let him know that I gave you the number. Don't let him know I gave you the number. I said, okay, cool. Cause I've been trying to get in contact with him. I can't get in contact with him, right? I ended up calling him that night after the show that I was supposed to do, which was the third
Yeah,
show.
it say the Spurs 93. He played for the Spurs from '93, followed by the
Uh-huh.
Bulls. I don't even
And when did
remember
he
him.
get with the
I don't even
Bulls?
remember him playing for the Spurs like that. But yeah,
But when did he get with the Bulls?
it's saying '95,
Exactly.
but it say he dyed his hair in '93. So yeah, it was a quick. That's because he played so quick. I can't even remember that.
But I'm trying. If I'm trying to tell you, you telling me. I'm telling you what I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Dennis Rodman, he only dyed his stuff like one color. This guy had like leopard spots in his hair.
I
Like
know that, but that's
that's
what I'm
what like
saying.
that's like some 2025 style stuff that they wasn't doing this in '95. They
Well,
might yeah.
well, all I'm gonna say is this. I remember seeing Dennis Rodman with more than one style of color in his hair, maybe about one or two, maybe three in his hair at the
And they
time.
say that Dennis Rodman, when I'm looking it up, he say that he got that from Demolition Man, Wesley Snipes.
I don't know where he got it from.
Nah, that's what it's saying. It's saying
Okay,
that he got
that
that.
might
That's
be,
where he
but
got it
all
from.
I'm saying is Tyrone was doing that before he was. Because I
Well, that's
remember
what I
when I
said.
left.
His style is futuristic, bro. Like he and one ain't got nothing to do with the other. This dude don't even know Dennis Rodman.
I'm not saying he
Yeah.
did. I'm not saying they do. I'm just telling you they was doing it before. See, you remember, you gotta understand, Dennis Rodman, he travels. See, and they had a lot of those different type of stuff going on. If he was dealing if Dennis was dealing with Madonna, Madonna wasn't always in America. She was in Europe. Dennis Rodman went all over. So who knows? He may be in that one of them places where they wear all them what they call that, all that leather or all that, but you know, where they
Ah,
be.
but listen, I'm super into fashion. Like it's Fashion Week right here in New York. Your man style is a style that's so futuristic. Is they wear it in 2020? Like the way I've looked at hair dye styles, like they weren't as sophisticated. See, like this man's stuff is like down to the cheetah print. Like when you buy a cheetah
That's it.
print
The
coat,
cheetah. Yep.
yeah, his stuff looked perfect. Like perfectly cheetah dyed, not like back in the '90s, it wouldn't have been perfected like this. Like my man's style was perfected, mastery style in that time in '95, and his stuff, people got it that type of mastery only now in 2025 with all the technology and years of just playing around with dyes.
But not look at what you're
Yeah.
saying on the technology and the style, and look at where it's coming from. Look at
That
where it's
style,
coming from.
well, that style is probably coming from a lot of like when you study fashion and punk, like
But
punk
where is it
innovated
coming
a lot
from?
of that.
Is it coming from the United States or is it more like European?
Well, punk comes from over there in Europe, so
That's what I was getting at.
but then it came over here to places like New York
And
where it
that's what
started
I'm
getting
getting
wild
at.
too. You know what I mean? But punk definitely originated in Europe.
That's all I was saying. All I'm saying is
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get that you not getting is that yeah, that's just like primitive punk style is not how it would look as modern 2025 punk has like polished it and made it look so crispy. Like what I'm saying is he's wearing it like it would be wore crispy now. He wasn't on some primitive just putting dye in his shit. His shit was like mastered level dye. Like
that's all I'm
you get what I'm
saying.
saying? And not even over there, everybody was doing it. This dude is ahead of the game, bro, is what I'm saying from
That's
a
all
fashion
I'm
level point
saying.
of view.
But
Like
see,
this
that's
primitive,
all I'm trying to say is that
like Dennis Rodman, he was doing it on a primitive level of like just, this is just the beginnings of people dyeing their hair primitive.
right. All I'm saying is
Your
this.
boy was advanced level 2025 dye style.
Right.
Like,
All I'm trying to share and put it down is like this. When Tyrone was doing it, like you said, he's doing his on a mastery level because he made like that style. You know how them
yeah,
drag
he's the
queens and
father, and he advanced it to the future. He's like Andre 3000 in
there
the
you
past.
go.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's what I'm
on
saying.
some, I'm
So when
saying like
Dennis
he's in
Rodman
the year
started doing it,
3000 in 1995.
it wasn't like Tyrone's. Dennis Rodman, he probably, I don't, I'm just saying. I'm not
It's
saying that's
like
where
he
he
just
got it
put
from or
some
not.
Kool-Aid
All I'm
packet in
saying
his
is
hair.
that wherever he got it from, it had to be from Europe, and he probably started trying to do it that way. It wasn't as good as it was going on over there.
He says is a quote that I just read. He watched the Demolition Man. That's what
Right.
he said. He got influenced by the movie Demolition Man.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that's still a European style. We wasn't wearing our stuff like that.
Well, no, remember Kwame the rapper? He was in 1990. Remember he used to dye the little stripe in his fade?
Yeah, a stripe, right.
Yeah, so like, we've had styles and
I'm not saying we didn't. All I'm just saying is, well, all I'm saying is where the majority of the style came from, and the stuff that, and I'm not giving them all props and stuff like that, but I'm just saying the style, he was just doing it. I'm just saying I seen him doing it long before Dennis Rodman.
yeah,
That's all
I
I'm
meant
trying
to
to say.
ask you, 'cause that's the only reason I noticed him. Cause I'm like, yo, the way this dude dyed the leopard print spots, it's like how kids would do it in 2020. It looks like that detail, like it wasn't primitive where it's just like, yo, I just threw some dye in my stuff. Like, no, this is like refined 2025. Like he was so futuristically ahead of the game. People are doing what he doing now, but
That
he
was
was
his style. Yep. That
like,
was
yo,
his style. He actually did it. He did a leopard style. He did a tiger style. He did all different type of styles,
yeah,
but
he the
that
hell
was just his
that.
style. That what made him stand out. So when he was
He
when so
stood
like I
out for
said,
real.
huh?
He definitely stood out because no one was doing that in 90, not like on the way he was doing it. People
Right,
taking risks,
right.
putting
So
dye
by him
color.
by him being like that, and by him bringing out that was his style with us with Imperial. Me, my dance style, and
But
then
all
I
he
was
did,
more
what did he
buff.
do though? What did he do besides just what? Like he just looked different. That's it.
That was all just that. He was the male vocalist, and that's all he was his style
Oh,
like that. And
a vocalist. He was a vocalist.
yeah,
Okay.
he was doing he's the one that saying what was he saying
Because
to
it
me?
sounded like y'all used the same voice, and then you said like, because I couldn't tell. That's why I was like, when you said you was rapping and the way he lip sync over that track, and then I heard you lip sync over the same. It seemed like the same voice. Like,
Mm.
so that's why I'm like, who voices that really?
Well, like I said, Beanie Beanie Beatsy was him and Manuela. So I didn't say I wasn't doing no tracks on Beanie Beanie Beatsy. Covadis was I was doing the track on that one, and Manuela Ray
In
was.
the video, you do like a little lip sync to one of the voices at the end of the video, the same voice that he's doing, the dude Tyrone. I see you do it. Maybe it's just because you just mouthing in the video just for the video, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's what maybe why it's
Yeah,
like
because when they do the video, they're not really singing it. They're actually doing the lip sync, you
over the
know.
track. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
So
see you do a part too when they come on to the camera on you. You like I forgot what part it is, but it's like it's the same voice. They don't show him, they show you, and your mouth is moving to the word or whatever like that. And I'm like, so is it him or is it him that's voice this is? I don't know. Like even
yeah.
when you say break this beat, it don't sound like you. It's like you got like this European type
It's
dialect.
more it's more like a Caribbean type of
Like
sound.
break this beat this stuff. I'm like, yo, that don't sound like me, goddamn voice.
Yep. So I actually had to come in and do that. And like I said, but what happened on that coming into that, like I said, when Tyrone ended up trying to get rid of me and I ended up talking to Norbert, which is the producer, he kept asking me that night. That night he asked me, because I didn't know what Tyrone was actually trying to do. He asked me that night, he said, would you dance without him? Would you perform without him? I said, we're a group. Cause I'm loyal. I'm loyal, right? He said, would you perform without him? I said, we're a group. We're a group. He said, but would you perform without him? I said, we're a group. We're a group, Because that was after I had the conversation with him. After when Wolfgang gave me the phone number, I called Norbert. Me and Norbert had a long conversation. Norbert was like, well, why you ain't come to the show? I said, Tyrone left me. He said Tyrone left you. He told me that you didn't want to. I forgot how the conversation went, but I was just mainly telling him Tyrone left me. He said, I lost money on a couple of these shows. I said, Tyrone left me. I said, he know I was supposed to be catching, supposed to be moving, coming this way. I don't know Germany. I don't know how to get out here, but I found my way to get here to do the show, and I missed the show. Then he said, "Oh, I see what's going on now." So I guess that's what happened. Then he said, "Would you perform without him?" I said, "We're a group." I said, "Would you perform?" I didn't know he was doing what he was doing. He said, would you perform without them? I said, we're a group. We're a group. He said, but would you perform without them? I said, we're a group. We're a group. And he kind of just wore me down. I said, well, and I thought about what we used to say back here in Detroit. Me and my boy Matt and our group, we used to say, if one person didn't show up, the show must go on because we knew how to. It was five of us. It would be usually five or six of us, but we knew how to take our routines and break them down to even if it was two or three of us dancing. We still knew how to break our machine, do our routines. So that hit me when he said that. Well, would you perform without him? I said, well, that hit me in my mind about the show must go on. So I said, well, if I have to, I'll perform. But we a group. We're a group. I was standing on we're a group. He said, okay, that's what I want to know if you would perform without him. I said, okay, yeah, but if I had to, but we're a group, you know. Next thing I know, this is when we had to do Quo Vadis. Now I'm coming to in 95. Now this is 95, February of 95. I had to go to Munich, Germany. In Munich, Germany is where I first met Manuela Ray on the set to do the video. I first met her on the set to do the video. So now, me and her, we get there and I'm meeting her, hey, how you doing? I'm meeting her, whatever. And we just do the video. The video of Core Violence, if you see it. We did the video, and next thing you know, we was in Munich, Germany at the time. We did the video, and then I think we had to come back there to do some, Photoshop, take photos and stuff like that. We had to do many photos when I was with Imperial as well. Um, but I took pictures and stuff like that. And matter of fact, I'm gonna send you some of my stuff, bro. I'm gonna send you some clips. I don't know if you ever seen any of them, but I'm gonna send them to you just for you to have. Okay?
What you mean clips or what?
My videos, my not videos, my pics, my magazine pics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When I was in the magazines, I'm gonna send
Yeah,
them
nah,
to you.
I would have never. How would I see those? Nah, I've never seen them.
No, I'm a text them to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna text you some of my video. I'm gonna send my magazine clips when I was in the magazines over there.
Ah, word.
Yeah, bruh, you really inspired me on the questions that you first started off with and how my life intertwined and the way you really inspired and let me see things in a different way because the questions you was asking, how it actually intertwines with my life when at first I didn't see that. At
I
first,
mean, it's just like again, like the movie, right? Everything is a symbol in your life. When you are looking at things, like you said, whether you pick up on it or not, the people and things you going through, the places you're at, the even the song that's on the radio, everything is a message.
that's right.
It's a symbol, it's a universal talking to you, it's a lesson for
There you
you, it's
go.
a symbol for you, it's a person for you, it's a job, it's a experience for you. Everything is about you, and you is so, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yep.
like you have to look at everything like this. Like whether you were at the time, is, I understand maybe you weren't, you might have been oblivious to looking at life this way, but like, you can always look back at it in hindsight and say, yeah, this does line up with every, why, yeah, I was conquering Germany, and yeah, what was I going, the future and where I'm at now, and yeah, I decided to leave that thing and leave that Roman Empire of, and now
And I'm
it's
on a spiritual journey now.
now you're on a futuristic ship to somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so you have to really understand that, yeah, it's like looking back. That's what the show, This Is Your Life. Remember that show? This Is Your Life.
Yep.
That's a show before I even, my time, but like I know that that's what it's about. I never really watched that show, but I remember like cartoons and other things that would kind of parody that show
Right.
was about looking back at your life, looking back before, even when you die, they say before you die, you have a flashback of your
Of
life.
your life.
They even show that sequence in a lot of movies when the character is about to, he'll even in the movie Bruce Leroy, what was the Last Dragon, when he sure enough had his head under the water before he was
And he
asked
realized that he was
master,
the master.
but he had to go through all of these flashbacks of everything in his life, that would draw him up to the point and before he could get, so it's like, yeah, man, you sometimes in order for you to reach that master level or before it's all over, you're gonna look back at your whole life and it'll make sense. Even though it might not make sense then the minute while you're living it. You know what I mean? But if you're
Yep.
really wise, you'll be able to discern it while you're living it. You know what I'm saying?
There
So
you go. That's it. Yeah, buddy. Man, and that's a fact. That is a fact. Let me see. So with being right after the video, I had to come back out to Munich, Germany a few times, and we had a photo shoot. Right now, in this photo shoot, me and her, we was just taking pictures, moving, like pausing and stuff like that. And I got to the point where I was able to take her. I'm picking her up, put her on my shoulder. At one time, I took her and I swung her around and I bent down like that, and she was right on. And that was the main picture that they use. It's called Star Portrait. I'm gonna send that one to you too. I
I
threw, I threw her around on my back, and I bent down like that, and she was on me right there, like she caught me, and we took a, and they called that man. It was nice. It was nice. I'm sending them to you for real. That was called Star Portrait, and we did another one. I'm sending them to you, but you can check them out.
y'all
Yeah, man. But that was a highlight of my life, man. That was something. I really felt that the Father. I felt the Father blessed me. I'm just saying what I'm seeing now, because a lot of time before when people go through their spiritual awakening, a lot of them end up in jail, and then they go through their spiritual awakening or their spiritual expect, I'm just saying awakening, and then they come out of jail in a whole new different life, and they're following a different way of life. Me, I end up going to Germany. I end up traveling and went through my spiritual awakening and woke up, and I'm going through my different way of life. So many people go through a different way of life in many different ways. But I ended up going over there before I was brought back home, long before I brought back to Detroit, but before I was brought back to the States, going to Mississippi, then to Atlanta before coming back to Detroit. So that was my time when I was there doing that. But what I'm gonna do is in part four, this is the part three here. In part four, we're gonna go into Quo Vadis. Nostra Cooper. We just did Quo
It's a
Vadis.
bunch to go in, man. Like, cause I still gotta ask those questions about them songs that ain't got nothing to do with Imperial, and it's
Of
like,
course, those are coming up. Those are
and I want to ask you about, cause I know some of these songs are tied to you and your
spiritual awakening.
your kid's mother, yeah, Karen, and how you had the awakening and the reason behind why what you told her, how you was, you know,
Exact. That's a whole nother part. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
That
So
see,
like, I
all
need
these
to
are
know.
chapters in my life. And I really take you from one chapter to the next chapter, to the next chapter, to the next. That's how I'm actually taking you to and through.
Yeah, but sometimes I like to do it like a Quentin Tarantino movie. He might start from the end and then jump
However
to
you
the
want to do it. It's just that I want to make
nah.
sure I
But you
want to
could
take
you
it through because
understand
this,
that style of
this
telling the story too. Sometimes you could tell the whole story about and going in without going in just the regular linear
they're going
sequence.
straight through it. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
why a lot of questions you're
Sometimes you could tell
asking,
a
I'm
story from
answering the
the middle,
questions as
jump
you're
back to the
asking
beginning,
them.
go to the
But
end.
I'm asking I'm answering the question as you're asking them, but I also want to go through for my sake so I can still see the
Do it how you
timeline
want to
of
do
things
it.
the way they're going.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Do it how you like to do it.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I
I
mean?
can
But I'm
see the
just showing
timeline,
you.
and it
I'm
brings
just
back,
showing you that it's
it triggers
possible.
memory for me. It's triggering memory for me for everything that I'm saying. I'm like, remember, okay, I remember this, I remember that, and it's kind of things like coming back. I just thought about something I did for the children on TV, but that's another part of the story though. But yeah, man, all I can say is that I had a great time.
Yeah, even I want to hear about your sons and all of that. The ones that's over there, like I want to know
That
a
I
little
got,
bit
yep, all
about them.
that. Believe me, we
All of
might
that.
end up going, man. We're gonna have more than two, 4 parts. I
Yo,
already know that from
another.
now.
There gotta be another two more parts, huh? Like,
It might be four compared to trying to get back to where I'm at now. But I really am glad because, and I like the way you're answering asking the questions because you're helping me see things as well on a different level, as well as what I've come to see because it's all coming to a head, and it's still better for the real story when the story decide to come out. If I do a real movie or book or whatever, however it goes, it all will happen, and it's all good for the for the story, And I really am appreciating your questions, though, bro, for real.
Nah, anytime, bro. You already know.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause. So we got an hour and 44 minutes in right now. So we're gonna stop part three. This is called Life of Mikael, question and answer, part three and four. We in part three now. We getting ready to go into part four. So we getting ready to pause this right now and then and come back. So just before we do that, or as we get ready to do that, I just wanted to say that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 to 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. We'll be right back. Zoom. I'm gonna pause you real quick. And G1 is the questionnaire. He's the one who's giving the interview, or as I tell the story, he's asking questions. So this is the reason why for the question and answer. G1 is my man that's asking the questions and really wanted to get this started on the question and answer, which I am glad because I'm glad a lot of things are coming back and coming out, and a lot of memory is coming out as well. And I'm glad it's getting recorded. So other than that, we'll be right back. I'm gonna pause Zoom real quick, which is the full version, and we'll be right back. Everything. I just brought my dancing talent. But you know something? That's what I represented though. Everything like you said. I'm sorry. My bad. Let me go ahead and get started. Greetings, 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 family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. Um, this is tonight is the should I say this is Fight Fire with Truth, open conversation, and we're having an open conversation on Life of Mikael, question and answer, part three and four. Life of Mikael, questions and answers, part three and four. Right. Last week we talked about me leaving Detroit, living in Detroit, growing up in Detroit, leaving Detroit, coming to Germany. What I did when I first got to Germany, and from coming from when I first got to Germany, building a group in Germany, performed with my group, and then went and then moved into Imperial, which is what we're sharing right now. We went into Imperial with the group I was with when I was over there in '94. I was with that group from June of '94 to June of '95. Then today we went into sharing information as well as G1, which is the coordinator who's asking the questions and helped me go through my memory of Imperial and my life between then and where I am today. And this is just we right now we're in the beginning of part four. We just did part three a few moments ago, and that's really part one of three and four. We did part one and two last week. This week we're doing three and four, but we always have two parts for live Facebook and Instagram. For live YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So we're in part two right now, which is really part four, which is what we're getting ready to encounter and go into from where we are, from where we left off at in part one. So I also just wanted to share with you this is well, yesterday was Sunday, the day of Sunday, which was the 21st of 2025, which was 9/21st, 2025. And I also want to add with everyone that this is in the lunar calendar. This is the beginning of the actually this night is the second night of the 6 month according to the lunar calendar. So the 21st, which was yesterday, and the night before the 21st was the first cycle of the 6 month. And this is the second night of the 6 month according to the lunar calendar, which is according to the lunar calendar, according to the calendar that we're going by, this is actually the 22nd night. We're after 12 o'clock now, but when the night comes, it was the beginning of the cycle. So the night and then the day, then the beginning of the cycle again begins again at the night portion. So now we get to get back into the conversation that me and G1 was having about the life of Mikael, question and answer. This is part four of, right now we got four parts, but we know it might go into six, maybe eight, according to the life of Mikael. And it's bringing back memories. And G1 is doing a great job in dissecting and going in, asking the questions about how my life intertwined with the music and with the performance I was doing when I was in Europe. He's doing a very good job because he's making me see some things compared to what I've come to understand in sitting back looking over my life and then where I'm at now, and then compared to back then, according to the questions that she's asking, and I'm seeing a lot, and a lot is still coming out as well, which I may love to make a book, or write a book, or have a story, or maybe even a movie behind my life. And I think it'll be a nice one, truthfully. It's a lot of things we hadn't went into, and I can't go through every detail, but a lot of it I'm just going through at this point in time. So now G1, what was it where we left off at? I know we was talking about the I just sent him well in between the break, I sent him some copies of some of the magazine clippings that I did when I was in Europe. I had a few clippings, the magazine, so I just sent him a few those but through text. I sent him a few of them so he can look at them, check them out, and he already and also in the video you will be able to see the songs when I was with Imperial, and you'll also see some of the songs that I did too, that I made. All right, you won't see no videos on them, but you can be able to hear them audio. They're in the information. The only one that don't have it is Instagram, but all the others you can actually pull up the information. You can listen to the videos, look at the videos, listen to the audios, and check them out as well. So the name of the group I was with was Imperial. Y'all can go back and listen to everything to where we at right now. Now, I think the last thing we spoke on before I got off, we was talking about the magazine clippings, and then I was taking pictures with Manuela Ray, which was the new female vocalist, and I met her on the set of Cool Vadis in February. I think it was February 5th or February 8th of '95. You know. And just before then, I remember I was at the studio putting some things together with, at another studio at home doing some other things as well besides touring and doing my thing. So there's a lot of things I've been doing, working and stuff like that, but just trying to stay strategic on where we was at and everything else gonna come as we go. Because if I told y'all everything, it'll be a very long story. So I'm just mainly going through the main things, which is really Imperial and some of the things I did leading up to that and moving on from that point as well. So at this point, as I was saying, me and Manuela Ray, which was the new Manuela, which was the next female vocalist after Tyrone Vincent had me plotting to get me kicked out of the group at the time when we was doing Vinny Vinny Vici. We sold $250,000 of our first single at that time. Tyrone Vincent was trying to plot to get me kicked out of the group, made me miss 2 or 3 shows after we did the Pepsi show. And when I say I got off on that stage, when I did a solo act, I did a solo act while they was getting dressed in the back. And after I did that solo act, I'm telling you, the crowd was going crazy from my dancing performances. So, and it was beautiful. I gotta say it myself, it was beautiful. But I looked at us as a group working together, building what we was doing. But greed and selfishness and things like that will actually kick you out of the picture quickly, Or I just realized that I was with that group for a year for a particular reason. And that's the reason why I'm on the journey I am now for the things I've come to understand and I've come to know to grow. So um, that was it. We was taking pictures around Munich, Germany. And then after that is when we did Nostra Cooper. Now, I think you just had a chance to look at Nostra Cooper. So now you remember that. Does that jog your memory up,
Well,
G1?
yeah, I remember that one, but it didn't really. A lot of the I didn't get to really take notes like that. I just think I watched it. I don't know like what happened, why I didn't get the detailed notes, but just really briefly I looked at it just now on the break. But the only thing I could kind of remember is that the title is Nostra Copa, and what that means is our fault. And I just didn't our fault. So it's like I don't really know what the song is really trying to really say about
Bruh, you just shared with me some. I'm gonna tell you, G1 is. I love the brother because he's a good researcher when it comes to words and information. Like I never knew what Nostra Cooper meant, but now that you say it's our fault, it was
Well,
their
yeah, I
fault.
took
It was
Spanish for quite some time, and so yeah, and then I'm around a lot of Spanish speaking people, so I'm not fluent, but like I have a degree of understand, and then a lot of root words are Latin, you know what I mean. So once you
right,
start to study etymology, you pick up on a lot of everything. Latin languages, all of the love languages, Italian, French, Spanish. So if you can learn one of them, you can kind of basically know all of them.
right,
I mean, even medical terminology, a lot of the medical words we use, terms that doctors have to study. When I took medical assistant class, we had what's called medical terminology, and it's basically studying the Latin roots, prefixes, suffixes, and root words, which is a lot of Latin. You know what I mean? So I study a Latin from that as well. But yeah, so it was easy to pick up. And once that's why it's good to know. It's like studying a puzzle. What if the way to get out was knowing this word? You know what I mean? You come across a sign somewhere in order to, you need to study and know these words and stuff like that. Cause like just
that's fact.
being average won't cut it when it's trying to escape certain things and get into past the maze and figuring out, going on your quest. You know what I mean? You have to learn, how to unlock secret doors. And these are the secret doors when they using languages that you don't speak or don't know. You know what I mean? They hide certain things or try to make it seem mystical, and
That's going on today, bruh.
it goes above your head when it's in a, and it just sounds fancy to the average, lame person, layman who don't really know what it means. They just think, oh, it's so exotic, but no, all it really means is our fault, you know what I mean? And it's just in another language. But yeah, so what that means is to the song, I really wish
I'm going to give you something
I would
because you gave me a
maybe in
clue.
maybe in 5 and 6, if you do a 5 and 6
Oh
part.
yeah, bro. It looked like we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to, cause, bro, we haven't even gotten to Mississippi. We hadn't even gotten to Atlanta. You
Yeah,
know,
we still
so
got to get to there too, like you said, and it's a lot to to get to. So yeah, maybe we will have to come back for 5 and 6, I'm sure. But for now, that part means our fault. But like, I wonder cause she's saying right, fight in the light, or there's a way for you, like getting through. I guess the things that are our fault, that puts us into hell or darkness or puts us into
now that you say that, when she's saying right in the night, we see the heaven right in the night. We got
it is a
the
light. You
light.
talking about the light? There's some light
Right.
that
And
shine.
then I will come in, who is good, who is bad, who is happy, who is sad, who is right, who is wrong. Tell me, where do you belong? What do you do when people smile? Stop and hate them for a while? Hate is wrong and love is right, and there's a light right in the night. That's
I
my
feel like I
lyrics.
studied that shit so good, like, cause I know it. Like, I feel like I did write it down and take notes. Yo, I don't know if I asked you this or like I know those lyrics too good, bro. Like, I think I wrote them down. Yeah, cause I wanted to break that down. Like, I thought you wrote it, but you said that he wrote it, and you just kind of say it. But yeah, it's like he say it one more time, and cause I
Who is good? Who is bad? Who is happy? Who is sad? Who is right? Who is wrong? Tell me, where do you belong? What you do when people smile? Stop and hate them for a while? Hate is wrong and love is right because there's a light right in the night.
Yeah, so he's talking about certain people. From which side of the coin are you on? Are you one of these people that's, in the light? Or are you not in the light? Because
He's asking questions.
yeah, people sometimes they look at you and hate you because you have the light, or they're going through a hard time, and they, like you said, do you congratulate people for when they're doing good, or do you look at them and frown and because you're,
Look at the world today.
yeah,
Look at everything that's going. See, when you said it means our father, your father, whoever,
mm,
I look at that even in the song, looking at what happened to me. Because about when I tell you the story about what happened to me with the situation, you're gonna be shocked. Because I never
yeah,
knew that's
our
what it
fault.
meant.
Everything that we go through, we are responsible as grown ups, as people. If you're not a child, everything that you go through, I can't, like I heard one of my men say, I can't really feel bad for certain people because you make your own decisions. You
That's
have
right.
free will to make decisions. So it's like every place that you end up in life is your fault. At the end of the day, you can't really blame.
When you do,
You
like I always say, bruh, when you point the finger, you got a 3 point back at you.
No, I get that there's certain circumstances, and yes, there's a Roman system, and yeah, there's certain walls and things in play that make the game harder for you. But at the end of the day, we all have opportunities to make a way, and so like there's like you said, the song is saying our fault. I would have to break it down more, but yeah, it's dealing with being in the dark because of the faults we have. But like she's also saying, there's an optimism because there's some light that could come out of the this is just real brief really drawing it up,
Well,
like this.
actually, what you're saying, I know you're giving your point of view, but by me being with the group, I can actually share with you what I went through according for that to be the way you're analyzing it.
Also, I want to ask you before you go there is because it keeps coming across my mind since we both talking about this song. Was there any interviews as a group that you guys like went on like a show like BET or MT or any type of in Europe where they asked you
Yep.
as the group, like where they interviewed you and like kind of I'm asking you questions
Yep.
about the meaning of songs and the origins and just the how who writes and like who writes the songs and does the music and like these the things that fans and people who appreciate the artist would like to know, and people who are into the music will want to know about the experiences and things of this nature. And so like do you have any interviews like that we could pull up of just where you guys were not in just I know I'm quite sure you have magazine interviews because you showed me some clippings, so but what about like any video interviews like where you guys were
I
interviewed?
wish I did because I'd be posting them up too.
But you were on some and you just don't
Yeah,
have.
we know. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Let me
Anything you
know when you're
remember?
ready.
Anything that stick out from those interviews you remember? Or
I'm about to break it down to you when you give me a chance.
nah, yeah, you go ahead.
I'm just letting you get done. I'm letting you get done so I can go through because you actually bring me back to the point of when we was doing Quo Vadis. No, yeah, when we doing Quo Vadis, we was performing. We performed, and you may see some one video when we performed live. When we performed live, that was our first time performing with 28 different groups, 28 different dance style group in Europe at the time. This was in '95. This was after we did the video, after we did our pictures and stuff like that. After we met and did the video, and we was touring. We placed, I think we placed one or two, maybe no, not one. We placed two or three that in Quo Vadis. We placed two or three. That was the first time we went on live. When I say live, this was nationwide, just like Dancing with the Stars or American Idol. This was nationwide on television. and you'll see it. And that was the actual show. I think it's MDR, MVR, or something like that across the nation of Europe at the time. And we placed two or three the first time, right? And I got up, I spoke, hey Norbert, and I gave Norbert a shout out and everything. Now, the second time, I remember this guy named, before I go to the second, I remember this guy named Pharaoh. Manuela Ray was kind of fascinated, was kind of fascinated with this guy named Pharaoh. This guy named Pharaoh, he was kind of big, whatever. He was tall, big guy, but he called himself Pharaoh, and that was the name of their group. He was doing, I guess they're doing the Egyptian style or whatever. Everybody had their own different type of styles, right? So Pharaoh, she was kind of, and we was getting ready to go on stage, and he was talking to her. And how you can tell some people just feel kind of uncomfortable, because he knew people try to take advantage. So, I said, well, Pharaoh, you gotta do whatever. I took her just like she was my little girl. Come on, we gotta go. But before that, let me give you something before when I was telling you that about her being spoiled. Before we even go, I jumped ahead, but something hit me to go back about me being a performer and who I was in the group. Now, after we did the video, now I'm gonna go back to the nationwide in a few minutes. We're in between that now. We're between the second video for me, but her first video, which is Covades, and we between and before the nationwide television show. Um, Now, this was the second time me and her got together. Norbert was at, well, let me, before I do that. I think Wolfgang got us together because Norbert hadn't came yet. Norbert didn't come till later on that night. I came out from Germany. I came out to practice with Manuela Way because she never performed with me. We just did the video Quo Vadis for the first time. Then now Norbert wanted me to teach her the ropes or dance with her, what have you. But he also got these three dancers. He got these two girls and a guy, tall guy. His name was Michael. Michael, and it was these other two girls. One was real slim, the other one was kind of, thickish, whatever. But she had dark hair. The other one had blonde hair. You'll see it in the video in Quo Vadis, not Quo Vadis. You'll see it in Nostra Cooper. You'll see it in Nostra Cooper. So we was practicing for Nostra Cooper, right? But they came in and they was giving her all the glory, and she was acting up. Like I say, she was spoiled. She was acting all glamorous, and because she got most of the shot in Quo Vadis. I was there, I got my shots in there, but they were showing her, we're gonna ride the way, I want to find the way. Whatever she was saying, I can't remember right off. Just thinking, she got most of the shot, which that was her style, the blonde hair. You'll see her with the white blonde hair or white hair. That was her style. But she couldn't dance. I actually taught her how to do stage presence. I taught her stage presence. I showed her how to dance alone. I mainly show her everything. But the dancers, they had their own style. They had their own routine. So I didn't have to dance no more, not with them. But we did do something where I was together with them, where we did a little something together with Nostra Cooper. But when they came, they treated me like, I'm going to tell you, they treated me like dirt. They treated me like you ain't nothing. They actually treated me like that. And when I was so mad, but bruh, it's just like if people like if everybody all snobbish and you ain't nothing but a puppy over in the corner. That's how I felt, and that's how I felt I was treated by these dancers who I didn't even know. Norbert hired them, and Manuela, she was acting all snobby and stuff, and they was giving her all the, how people giving you praise, and you, that's how she was acting. I'm like, I'm trying to talk to him, but that night, I was pissed. I was mad, and that night we all was in the hotel room. We all was up in the hotel. We just got to practicing or whatever, doing what we supposed to be doing. I just felt like they was treating me like mess. And I don't even want to say the word, I don't say the word, but they was treating me like that, far as I'm concerned. So now I'm sitting on the bed over here, everybody else on this side of the bed. They said, Norbert coming, Norbert coming. I said, okay, Norbert coming, right? Norbert, all them was thinking Norbert was going to praise Manuela Ray. He came in around all them, sat right next to me. Mike, are you all right? Are you? He was getting. Now I was getting the praise. They didn't even know. They thought that she was the star. If you look at Quo Vadis, you'll see how they had her in the camera. Whoever did the camera shot, they was doing the camera shot, but no, they did the camera. Whoever was the video tech, that was just a company that he hired to do the video. But the point is, he knew who his star was. He knew who his stage presence. I'm the one who got, and I'm not saying it like it's all me, but I know it was me. If it weren't for me and the way we perform, because that's what people really love, our live performances. I got them. When I'm telling you, our live performance, man, people love. I'm gonna jump the gun, but I'm gonna say this real quick. My boy, uh, dang, what's his name? Tony. Tony. He used to play with Dallas Cowboys because I think he had 3 or 4 rings, and I wasn't into the Dallas and all them that cause he could have been in line, but I don't think he was because he had 3 or 4 rings at the time, because they supposed to have won. So he supposed to have played with Dallas Cowboy. And I say played with him, he was actually on the team. But he was with this group called Erotic. Now at this time I wasn't with him, but he came to visit me, and I'll get to that later, but he came to visit me, and when he came to visit me, and I wasn't with the group anymore, it was afterwards, I wasn't part of the group, he said, man, you a star in Europe. You a star. He said, and then I'll go into that a little later. That's when I was out to school, but I go into that. But I just wanted to share that point because he know where he said, man, they loved our live performance. He said, man, they had like a little table. You can imagine like a small square table. He said, man, y'all gonna dance in there and Tony. I think his name, what was it? Tony Wright. Tony, I can't think of his name. It was me and him got real close. But he said, we can't dance on there. And then they said, well, Imperial can do it. Imperial can dance on that stage. It was a little small stage that he was telling me about. And he said, but we ain't Imperial. He said, but Imperial can dance on it. He said, but when he came, he just told me, man, y'all a star in Europe, in Austria. You a star out there. He was just telling me, and it made me realize how much of an impact I know I did on our live shows for Imperial. So, but I understand that our fault, that's Nostra Cooper. But before I get to our fault and let you understand why it's their fault, why I'm not there no more. Our fault, when you said, gave me the understanding that Nostra Cooper mean our fault, is they thought they got rid of me and how they started to decline after I left. But the point I'm getting at is that when I'm sitting there, Norbert came around. He sat right by me, said, Mika, well, he said Michael at the time, are you all right? This and that. But he was, I ain't gonna say sucking up, but he knew who his star actor was. Like with the Bulls, everybody had Michael Jordan. The team, the Piston team back in the day, Rodman, all them, they were the team. But I'm talking about when you got to a certain, like right now, people picking out certain people like LeBron, Kobe, Michael. I was the Michael Jordan back then when I was in Europe. So the group, he came around to me. I seen the look on all their face. Like the dancers were scared. They thought they was about to get iced. They thought they was about to get kicked out the group. Because when he came to me, all I had to do was say, I don't want them. That's all I had to say. If I'd have told him, I don't want them dancers. I do not want them. I don't like them. See, but I didn't have that type of attitude. But if I'd have said that, they'd have been gone. If I'd have said, if I'd have told him I didn't want Manuela, she'd have been gone. You know why? Because he's ready to replace her. Even though she had just came, he knew she ain't had no stage presence. She couldn't dance. I taught her all that. I taught her stage presence. I taught her how to dance. I taught her what to do. I taught her moves. I taught her all kinds of stuff. I taught her. I made her what she was. Compared to what he did with bringing her in, I made her when it came to stage presence, performing, and everything. I did that, and I'm not bragging, but I'm saying what I did. These are my flowers, what I know that I did with her. So, but she was snobby. She was stuck up. We got to be a little cool, but she was stuck up and she was jealous. She was so jealous. That's why I'm gonna get to you. Ask me about interviews. That's what we're gonna get to in a few minutes. So now I never said nothing. He even brought a female. I think the next day we was practicing. The next day, we out there. They out there practicing. Now they treat me nice. Oh, they treat me nice now. They see who Norbert came over and sat with. He didn't even pay them no attention. He came, sat next to me, talked to me, asked me what I want. I didn't eat no pork. He made sure that I ate good. He took care of me. But the next day, we out there, we practicing whatever. He brought this female. He brought this girl, and I already felt her energy. If she want to come in, no. He said, "Oh, we got a dancer and this and that. Her and y'all will do real good and this and that." And she got out there. She got a couple of dances, smiling whatever. And she dancing or whatever. I said, "No, Manuela's all right." I said, Manuela Ray, she good. She good. We did the video already, and I'm just not one that I don't know. It's just me. I'm not one to just turn my back on people, even though they did me wrong, making me feel like shit the day before. But when Norbert came in, they seen who his man was. They seen who Norbert's man was. So I just looked over that. They treated me better. Manuela had tear in her eye because she thought that he's gonna come to her, and I seen a tear in her eye. She was upset, or she was sad, upset, or felt dumbfounded, I guess you can say, because how Norbert came to me. So, like I said, the next day, he brought this other girl. She can dance and stuff. She can dance, but I just said, "No, man, well, it's good." He asked me. Now that's one thing that, like you said, we collaborated on. He asked me, "Well, would you like for her to dance with you, or would you like for her? She could be the woman that did this and that." I said, "No, man, well, it's work. She's good. I done taught her this and that. I practiced with her yesterday. I taught her stage presence. I did this and that and this and that. She's good. And." I didn't know this girl, so it wasn't no love lost, nothing like that, and it still wasn't no love lost or gain. I just was saying, well, we good with what we got. Mainly, just let him know, and that's what it was. So that happened. So he got. I didn't see her no more. So now me and Manuela, we getting to know each other a little bit. Now Norbert gives us a chauffeur or a road quote unquote manager. His name is Kanofi. Now, Kanofi, he's young. Manuela's young. Both of them young. All of them younger than me. Even Norbert, the producer, was younger than me. But I was young. I was like 26, 26. I was 27 at this time. I was 27 at this time. It was no, I think I was 28. Yeah, because that was just before my 29th Earth Day. I was 28 at this time. I turned 27. Yep, I turned 27 when I was at the second performance with Imperial, and when I first met Manuela, the other Manuela, when we performed then. So I just turned 27 then. I was 26, turned 27. Now, throughout this time, I'm 27. I was with Imperial when I turned 27. I was with them at 26, my first one or two performance, turned 27, and now I'm with 27 all this time throughout this year from June, because my Earth Day is in August, from June of 94 to June of 95. So I'm 27 at this time. Now, I say that for a reason. I'm 27 at this time. And Norbert, I think he was 24. I think Norbert was 24, and I think Kanofi and Manuela, they were younger. They was like in between 19 and maybe 20, maybe 21 with Kanofi. But I know she was anywhere between 19 or 20, maybe 21, which was Manuela Ray was. So, but the point is that Kanofi, he was saying, "Oh, I really like her. I really like her. I really, like." So they end up being boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Don't tell Norbert. Norbert don't need to know you. So I'm, me. Like I said, I get along. I try to do everything I could with everybody. I wasn't snobby. I wasn't trying to sabotage nobody, even though that always came around for me. people sabotaging me, going behind my back, saying certain things, and I'm trying to help us all. I'm trying to help us all out. But I'm the one who getting messed on. You know what I'm saying? But everything happened for its reason. So, like I'm saying, so now Norbert didn't get this girl. I show her stage presence. Now we got the three dancers, which they stayed with us with a few performances, right? And now I think this is when we was performing, and we end up going. Now we going to MVR, I believe it is, and now we're performing for the thousands of people on the television. Thousands of people. No, we don't. We doing it nationwide. So we can't. We placed. This is when we did. We placed. We did Covadas on this one. We placed between two or three. And then, so the next time I think we went on, I think we went to perform, and or we didn't perform. I think they wanted us to come back out there, but he said that we weren't going to do it. So I ended up doing a bit because I was doing my own thing as well. I had my own Smooth Bias in Motion. So I had my own show going on, and we did something in it wasn't Cologne. It was in what was the name of that place in Germany? Canaan or uh Candy. Forgot it was something with a C. Well, whatever it is, we end up booking a show in a place out there, and they wanted me to perform Imperial. I said, "Well, I can't do that. That's Norbert stuff," and I would have my own show that we did. You know, me, my Smooth Eyes in Motion. We had our own show we did. I can't think of the name of the place. What's the name of it? But if it hit me, I said, yeah, that's it. But I can't think of the name right now. But we did it. It was like at a skating ring, right? So I book a show. Now Norbert calls me and tell me, well, we got a show on the thing. And I said, I thought, Norbert, you ain't tell me. I didn't know how, I didn't know. I'm still trying to build my thing too, as well as do this. I'm like, well, Norbert, I got a show going on. And he said, well, I got this thing going on, and y'all supposed to come with. I said, well, Norbert, y'all said we weren't gonna make it. What it was, somebody bailed out, or we end up moving up the chart, and we end up being placed in a certain place. And I think we were supposed to perform, and we placed. I didn't perform that time, and there was some other guy that performed, and they said that he was real. He was giving me that. Somebody told me that he got up there and he was supposed to say something in my place because I guess he was what you call him when you put somebody in for you. He's supposed to be in place for me. He got out there, he got to laugh. He's supposed to say something. He just ran laughing like a little, So I heard about that, but Norbert was upset that I couldn't come, so he was ready to replace me. Cause I think Imperial is more like a franchise. Imperial is more like a franchise, you could say. So he's ready to play me, but he didn't because he knew the potential. So I did my show. I cannot think of where it was. I cannot think. It's like on my mind, but I can't think because it was some time ago. So we did our show. Me and him end up talking. And I said, okay. When I did my show, they end up playing Vini Vini Vici. So they wanted me to perform because I'm with Imperial. So they wanted to see Imperial perform, but I'm the only one who performed, you know. So it was just the fact of me being there performing off of their witch call without even, my show was lip sync and doing everything like I did like I did in '93 when I first got, like as I shared last week in part one and part two. But I also they wanted me to perform Imperial, which I did. I just got out there and just dance, perform with the mic and just dance a little bit. But, you know, but that's more of a lesson for me on, and they got paid off of, we got paid of what we come there for, but, you know, they promoted Mikael or Juice from Imperial. But that was another thing. So I was just learning situations while I was out there. Even though I used to throw my own shows here, do things here in Detroit, but that was on a different level. I was learning different things on, and it was more money I was trying to get that Norbert was trying to. You know, he didn't want to give me no more money because of this and that, and he wanted me, you know how it is when you try to get more money, even though you know you doing the work, they getting paid because he's going on his second. Thank you, Almighty, for letting me remember that. He was going on his second vacation his first year. Second vacation on the work that we doing. You know, the work that we doing, he going on his second vacation. But I said what in my mind while I was doing what I was doing, I said he don't want to pay me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my reputation. I'm going to do everything I need to do to build my reputation. So when I do go on my own, I'll be able to have a reputation to do what I need to do. That was in my mind. So I tried to be at every concert, everything I need to do to perform, to get my face out there. So when I get ready to make my move, I'm there. I got a name for myself. People know what I can do. So that was my idea. But what ended up happening, I end up going back on MDR or MDR in Europe. We won two more times. So we placed four times. I missed one of them. We did one. I think that was supposed to be with Quo Vadis, but I didn't make it for that one. Then the other two, I was there. So this was Quo Vadis. These two was with Nostra Cooper. They performed with us on Quo Vadis and Nostra Cooper, the first one. The last Nostra Cooper was with these two females. So on my video, you'll see one with Nostra Cooper with three dancers in the back on Nostra Cooper and Quo Vadis. But the last Nostra Cooper, you're gonna see the two girls. You're gonna see two girls. That's when he got rid of them, or he let them go and got these other two girls, and they start performing with us. But before we get to that, this is where the interview comes in at. This is where the interview comes in at. Um, we was in Austria. Like I said, Austria was our place where we was touring and going all around Austria. And it's another thing I wanted to say before we get to this. I remember one time I was sick. Like the time Michael Jordan playing basketball, he was playing sick, but he got off and played a real good game. I think I had the flu or was coming down. I think I was coming down with the flu. I didn't have it full blown, but I was weak. But I still performed just like Michael Jordan did on the court when he was sick. I performed. We was at a castle. It was like a castle we were staying at as a hotel, but it was a castle, and we performed there. And they had us sit down. They had us a lot of people just getting autographs. We signed autographs. On one of the things, when you see her standing like that, and you see me performing, you see me posing like this. That was our poster. That was our poster. It said Imperial. She's standing like that, her legs like that, legs open. She's standing like that, and I'm like this. And that was like, when I say a poster, I mean it was like I wouldn't say 6 feet, but 4 or 5 feet long, about 3 feet wide. 4 or 5 feet long, 3 feet wide. It was a big poster. We was all over Dresden. Now I found out about Dresden, which is a city in Germany. They said they got bombed. They were still rebuilding the city. We performed out there in Germany. We was all over the place. A lot of places that just hit my mind on that. Dresden. With matter of fact, we got a street named Dresden right up the street. A street called Dresden, which is a German city where we performed at. It was just a lot of things going on. Then I forgot to share. Still more to come in and left. I think I already shared that though about Karen coming when they were trying to get rid of me. I brought Karen to try to hear the conversation of Manuela when we was with just hit me. When we was doing Beanie Beanie BC when Tyrone was talking German, because I know that he started talking when he wouldn't want me to understand, he'd start talking German. So I brought my woman, Karen, with me one time to listen. I said, because I can't understand what they're saying. They talking stuff around me, but they changed they changed they don't talk English. They changed their vocabulary, they changed their language. So now they talking a different language. While in front of my family, I'm like, well, what y'all talking about? So Karen was listening to him. She heard some, and then they started talking I think they started talking Austria because he was part German. I think he was part German. He knew Austrian language, but he was German and he was part Brazilian and German. Yeah, he was Brazilian and German. Manuela, the first Manuela, she was Austrian. So he knew how to speak her language. So when Karen was there, they were here, she would hear a little something. Then they switched up to a different dialect. And she said, "Well, I couldn't understand what they were saying." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, they speaking different, different languages and stuff." That just hit me on that with Tyrone and the first Manuela. So they was really plotting to get rid of me. That was before I talked to Norbert and all that other stuff happened. But now, back in '95, this is when me and Manuela Ray was in '95. And again, back at this point, like I said, we done performed on this show. I did my little show. Norbert got me back when we performed. We started performing again and touring. And Wolfgang, he was with us, and we all was touring, and he was the main that put stages up. But we performed for the 28 different groups again. And like I said, the first time I ended up pulling her away from Pharaoh, which was a performer there, and she was glad the way I did it because I was the man. I was taking care. I was the man taking care of everybody. I was the man taking care of everybody, make sure everything is good. And a lot of other things was happening during that time that that's coming to my mind. I remember we was up in the mountains. Have you ever seen anybody that jumped into the pool in snow? I mean, when I say they got like a pool and they had snow out there, I'm like, that's something I never could believe. But it's hot outside, even though it's snow, they end up going not swimming, but they jump in the pool in the snow. I remember Kanofi, the one that was going with Manuela Ray, that said, don't tell Norbert that we together or nothing like that, because he ain't want that whatever happened. But I never said nothing. Even I ended up talking to what I was sharing with you, the guy that ended up picking up after me getting with Imperial. He even said that how spoiled she was. Me and him had a conversation when we met each other over Facebook. And another person out of Ukraine connected with me as well because he remembered Imperial. He the one who sent me some of those pics that you got, G1. He the one who sent me some of those pics. This other guy out of Ukraine. He sent me those pics, and we had like I never met him face to face, and me and the other brother we had a conversation. He took up my place after I got out of Imperial. But back to the story, um, I shared that because I said that it was some thing. Oh, I was talking about the mountain. We went up in the mountain. I remember Kanofi telling me, Kanofi, which was the road manager. I said, "Yeah, I can." He said, "Have you ever ski board?" I said, "No, I never ski board, but I used to roller skate." I said, "I used to roller skate." He said, "Skis and ski ain't like roller skating." I said, "Why?" He said, "You can stop on the roller skates or on skateboard. You can stop on skateboard. You can't stop on the ski board or on skis. You can't stop on those." I said, "Really?" So I ended up running up with like a snowboard on the up the mountain and got on it. And man, that boy, you can't stop. You gonna slide. You gonna ride. So I just had a lot of fun when I was there, made some friends, made a lot of friends on stage and in the audience. It was beautiful. And then now comes the time we went to have the interview. This is when the jealousy is really starting to come about. We perform, she get praises, but it reminds me of Saul, Saul and David. When everybody sing, Saul has killed his 1,000, David killed his 10,000. She was jealous because people would, and I wouldn't say nothing. They would come to her to interview because she knew how to talk the language. Me, they would just come and love me because of, I think, my personality and also my dancing talent. A lot of people, some of them talk a little English, whatever they would say, dancing. Well, and I just, and I give love because that's just me. I would give love and I would share information as much as I could when I could talk to them. So we end up going to this children's show, right? We went to this children's show. Now we sitting on the couch. We up on, it was like the children is down on the floor, the stage is here, and we up on the couch, right? I'm sitting on this end of the couch. She's sitting on that end of the couch, and the interviewer is sitting in between us, right? Now she's carrying the whole interview because they couldn't speak no English. No English. She's carrying the whole interview. I'm just sitting there. They talking to her. She asking no questions, this and that. They talking to her, and they talking to her. And I ain't saying nothing. I'm just, because I don't talk. I'm just good. I'm not jealous. I'm not making no faces. But as soon as they turned to me, said, Mikael, Juice, dancing? You dance? I said, yeah, I dance. They said, would you like to show? I said, yeah. When he asked me that, I seen a look on her face. She like, I said, dang, boy, you can see jealousy on people, right? I seen the look on her face. I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, she just did the whole interview. They talked to her about everything, but then they asked me to dance. She gonna give one, she gonna roll her eye. I mean, it was actually on the television, it was on the set. Why they interviewing me now or just ask me if I like to dance? And I said, yeah, I dance. So they played some music. I don't know if they played some music or I just went out there. They had children sitting on the floor, and I was at the time I break dance. So I got out there, I did a couple of moves, broke it down, and I ended up starting. And this is one of my favorite combinations I do. What I do is I dance. I probably do a 1990. Then then I do some swipes into the windmill. Or what I do, the swipes to the turtle to the windmill. I used to do all that though. I don't know what I think I did swipes to the windmill to a backspin and I paused. Or I did swipes to the turtle to a windmill, then I paused, and then I did a pose. They, them children were loving it, right? And I just got up, gave all them a hug, got up, went back up to the couch, and the interview was over. But the whole thing is that, it was just jealousy. And it was jealousy with Tyrone. And I believe he carried that with Manuela in when we first got together with Beanie Beanie Beatsy. But then now Kanofi didn't have no reason to get jealous because he wasn't performing, but she was hearing him stuff, but she was just, and I taught her everything she knew. So that was an interview that we did. The interview went good, but the energy is off. And she was just like that majority of the time. She was just, I could just feel the vibe. You know how some people try to fake it, but they have to do it because they're part of the group. And then he's trying to keep her straight because he know who he is, but she was jealous. When I say jealous, you can feel the energy. I was good. So that's when we end up getting the other two young ladies to dance, or Norbert did. We didn't get it. Norbert did. So they danced with us the remainder of the time, and then this is when the ending of me being with Imperial. And if anything else is there that need to be said, I can remember after the television show with the children. But we performed a few more places, a few more times, and then it was one. I think we was in Vienna, Austria. I believe we was there. This was the last performance I did with him because whatever it was, we went in and we came out. So we went in. Now we had a small compact car where you can only fit 5 people in there. 3 can sit in the back, 2 up front. It was a small compact car. I don't know why they got the car like that, but whatever. But we went in, we performed. I think we went there dressed to perform. We went in, we performed, and then they was ready to go. So we had to come right out. So we went in, we performed. The girls performed behind us. Me and Manuela Ray, we all performed. Then we had to come out, and we had to come through a certain way to come out around the crowd and jump into the car. I jumped in the front seat on the passenger side. Kanofi is the Kanofi, which means little button. Kanofi, he's the driver. We had the 2 girls because they were sweating and they were sitting in the back. And Manuela, She wanted to get up front, but I'm sweating. So I told her get in the back with the girls. Now this is my last night with Imperial. I'm going to tell you what happened. Norbert never heard me out, but I'm going to tell you what happened. So we jump into the car. We jump into the automobile. She jump in, the other girl jump in. If she'd been in front of me, she'd have got up front. But I got up front because I'm sweating and I don't want to be back there with them girls. They all girls, right? So she up there. I want to get up front. I want to get up front with my boyfriend. I want to get up front with my boyfriend. I said, okay, wait a minute. We all wet. Wait till we get to the hotel or whatever. I want to get up front with my boyfriend. I want to get up front with my boyfriend. And she just tripping. She tripping. I said, wait, listen, hold on. I'm wet. Y'all wet. We all wet. Wait till we get to the hotel. We just got a ride to go get to the hotel. Y'all all girls. Y'all can sit back there together. I want to get my boyfriend. Let me up front. Let me up front. She just tripping. And she said, nigga. I turned around. I said, girl, you better watch your mouth. You better chill out. I want to get my boyfriend. I said, chill out. We get ready to go. Wait till we get to where we're going. I want to get to my boyfriend. Nigga. I said, and then she hit me in the back of the head. She said, bam. She hit me in the back of the head. Girl, I turned around. I popped on her legs 3 or 4 times. Stop hitting me. Don't hit me no more. Popped on her legs. Didn't hit her in the face. Didn't hit her no. I popped her because the legs were right behind the chair, behind the passenger seat chair. So I popped on her legs. I don't know whatever happened, but all I know that's why I hit her that. And I said, she ain't hit me no more. And she shut up. So I got dropped off I went to my room at the hotel. I felt kind of bad, but she shouldn't have hit me. So I'm at the hotel. I'm there. Now I think Norbert's on his vacation. This is his second vacation. So he never came out there where we were. I don't know what ended up happening, but he ended up calling me. And when he called me, he said, you know you could go to jail. I'm like, what you talking about? He never listened to what I had to say. Same thing what happened with Norbert and them, with Tyrone and Manuela. He didn't hear nothing I had to say until I called him because he was ready to put me out and he never talked to me. So when I talked to him, he understood. But this time he called me because whatever they told him, I don't know what they said. But whatever they told him, it convinced him to think that I did something to go to jail. And I don't know what it was. And I said, well, Torben, he didn't want to hear nothing I had to say. Well, you know, this and that, and she's beat up, and I'm thinking they beat her up and hit her in the face. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know what they did. But he said, well, I could go to jail. He said, well, we're going to have to let you go. I said, well, you know, I said, no, but I didn't. Well, we just going to have to let you go. I said, okay, ain't nothing I can do. He said, we could call the police and all that. I said, I didn't do nothing. But hearsay. When people listen to other people without finding out what's going on, so that was my last day with Imperial. Came home and I was done. That was in June of 95. That was my last day with him. And that was it for me with Imperial. I had a great time when I was with him. Um, Next thing you know, I'm back. I'm back home now. Now I'm back home. I tell Karen the story, let her know what happened. Always let her know everything. Anyway, I let her know about the jealousy and everything. I always talk. Always talk to my wife, my woman, whoever I'm with. Just talk. That's your companion. I always talk to my companion. So told her what was going on, and went from there. So now I'm not with him no more. This was in June. Now, say June, July, August. Now, I believe me and Karen, we was talking about getting married. I wasn't working nowhere now because at the time I was working, and I think at the time I had stopped really working with the because I ended up moving out to something happened where I ended up moving to Babenhausen. And that's where I was actually working at because I moved from, I ain't tell you all this, but all this stuff was going on. There's a lot of stuff going on at the same time, simultaneously. first I was at the food court working at Anthony's Pizza. When I got with Imperial, just before I got with Imperial, oh no, while I was with Imperial, just before I got with the dining facility, I was with Imperial. So now I'm with the dining facility in Canberra Fish Concern, which is the army base where I was working at. Then while I was there, and I was going through stuff with this with the sergeant, the one that's over it, she was a woman, and she was a trip. She was a woman, and her attitude was a trip. But remind me of my children mother over here, But there, and then from there, I ended up transferring out to Babenhausen. I was staying in Babenhausen. That's where I was working at. And I remember my boy Kincaid and West and Mike. Mike was the manager out there. Kincaid was from I think Kincaid was from Atlanta, and I think West, I forgot where he was, but before I got there, um, West would call me Gator. And reason why he called me Gator, and they just heard about me. You know how people hear about you before you get there? Say, I hear you dancing. They wanted to show me the butterfly. I said, butterfly? I said, yeah, the butterfly. They were showing me the butterfly by uh, 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 I can't think of the name of the group. It's right there in my mind, but I can't think of the name of the group. Butterfly, that's old. Then I think they went to go on the Twitch about it was butterfly at this time. So they showed me about the butterfly, and he called me Gator because of what's the name of that movie with Wesley Snipes? Jungle Fever, I think. And which call was playing Gator. Oh, what's his name? Uh Jackson or whatever got his name. But stuff just so scrambled with me. But y'all know who I'm talking about that played Gator in Jungle Fever, right? Um, so he was calling me that. Kincaid, he was from Atlanta. So, we was all cool. Us three, we was tight. Mike was cool too. So I ended up getting me a plate. Me and my lady, we ended up getting into it when I was in we was in Darmstadt. I ended up moving straight across the street from my old place, from my the dining facility in Babenhausen. I moved across the street from there. It was like a little what would you call it? A room. I forgot what they call it, a room, a studio. I had got a little studio apartment. So as I was there, got to know a lot of places, and me and Karen, we were still together, but I just moved to get my own place, separate myself, not separate from her like that, but we ain't got into it. So I ended up getting me a place. So we still together. Now she's starting to come out there where I'm at because she was downtown. Um, I was out there for about 2 or 3 months. And then while I was there at that place across the street from the dining facility in Babenhausen, um, Karen would come and visit me, or she would stay over there with me every once in a while, and then go back, to her place there, downtown Darmstadt. And one time, me and Karen went over to the dining facility, to get something to eat. Now, I wasn't working there at this time. And now the funds ain't coming in. I'm not working nowhere and the funds not coming in, but I was trying to put shows together. So now me and Karen over there, I'm sitting down at the dining facility. We had just got, they always looked out for me, so we got a little something to eat. And Karen sitting there with me, and I'm sitting there, and it was just my spirit. My spirit was on me, and I was like, I said, Karen, I'm poor. I was saying, I'm poor, but I feel rich. I said like Tony the Tiger. And it was a year, and then me not being with the group anymore, I have time to sit back and look back on everything. I said it was a reason why I was with that group for a year. From June of 94 to June of 95, I was contemplating on that. It was a reason why I was with them for a year. I don't know why, but I understand. And I just knew it in my spirit. I was with that group for a year for a reason. And I didn't understand at first. Then my mother sent me a Bible, and me and her was talking about getting married, right? So now we talking about getting married. Now she ended up getting pregnant. She's beginning to be pregnant. She just got pregnant. Now it ain't showing or nothing like that, but she pregnant. We about to get married. We talking about getting married and this and that. My mother and them send me a Bible, right? So they send me a Bible. They send me certain things to read. So I'm reading through the Bible now. I'm in now this is where I come up with the song The End, which you will see in the post. This is where I came up with the song The End. I already did Keep It To Yourself. I never finished it, but I did get the first verse. I finished the first verse. By the time we got home, me and Tyrone got home, I got home, and it was just on my mind. That first verse came just like that. And then when I got the first verse, we went and then I did the first verse at a sound check. But now this is a year later. Yep, it's a year later. Now I don't know. I think I told y'all about the taunting throughout the year when I first got that anointing. After that, and after the first video, and throughout that time, certain things will happen. And I'm gonna tell you the story though. But I mainly gave y'all the information on Imperial first. So back to Babenhausen. Like I said, I felt rich in spirit. But like I said, now my mother sent me a Bible. I'm beginning to read because I've always been spiritual, but not even knowing the Bible. You know how people are like, oh, I love God, this and that. We all talking and don't know it, but we just talk what we feel. We all in our feelings. So now I'm starting to read. Now I end up reading Acts second chapter, 17. I get to the 17th through 21st verse. I'm just reading, not knowing I read, I'm just reading. But when I started reading Acts second chapter, and Karen was with me, I said, Karen, this is a song. This is a song. You know, I said, Karen, this is a song. So now I'm starting writing it down. I'm looking at it, I'm writing it down. Now it's coming to me from my visual. In my mind, I'm seeing a song out of this. First time I was talking about Prince, 1999, Prophecy, and all that. But I end up bringing it all together the way it ended up coming up. The first verse, that is. First verse ended up going like this. And then someone I shared it with him, I didn't have a name for it, right? And first I was talking about Prince in 1999 and Prophecy, and that was kind of like what I had in the song because of what I was reading. And to me, what I saw in there was what Prince was talking about in 1999, from what I seen in the scripture. So then I was talking to somebody on the base one day, and they said, no, Prince, he wasn't a prophet and this and that. I said, really? He said, no, he wasn't a prophet. That was just a song he made for 1999. But he said, but it does sound catchy. It does sound pretty good. He said, man, it sounds like The End. I said, The End? The End sounds good. I said, you mind if I use that as a title? He said, no, go ahead. I said, The End because that's what it starts with. And it goes like this. I call it The End because that's how it starts. But the verse goes like this. The end is near, so have fear. Redemption comes and goes. On the ones who call on the name of the Lord, but not for the enemy and foes. Children have vision, men shall have dreams, and the earth should be cold and old. The sun should be dark, the moon should be red. Then it will be time to go to bed. The Lord will show wonders in the heavens above and signs in the earth beneath. Blood, fire, vapor of smoke, weeping and gnashing of teeth. The Lord above shows his love, but it is up to you to give your life to Lord and turn your life around too. Acts, second chapter, 17 through 21st verse, and also in Joel, second chapter, 28 through 32nd verse. Check it out. So that's how the first verse end up coming out. And uh me and this brother named T1, another brother. Now I think I shared that, no, because I haven't gotten to that part yet. But yeah, this brother named T1, he was a brother that could rap, right? And when I was trying to put some shows together, I would put him on the show, and me and him began to be pretty good friends, right? And he came to Babenhausen. I would pick him up because I had my own ride. Pick him up. We would chill and ride around for a minute. Brought him over to the house, and he thought he was a thug type guy. He thought he was one to come to your house and thought he would, you know, not with me. But no, he was a little taller than me, And people think they're intimidating until they see you in action. And the reason why I say that is because of what I'm about to share with you on this. Brought him out there to Babin Housing a few times. Um, he was out there with me. Me and him, we got a little small tussle, whatever, a couple of times. Nothing major, you know. Um, but it was a time I was at his place. Me, him, Karen, which is my wife, my woman, is woman at the time. I was gonna marry, and because he tried to act a certain type of way when we brought him over to our apartment before we moved downtown. We was at an apartment in Darmstadt, and he tried to walk, act like he was all that. Some people get in the place like over they come from here, go in Germany, try to think they are that because think that nobody else can fight or think people gonna bow to them. No, ain't what that ain't happening with me. But the whole thing was he got over there and he thought that he was all that. Like I say, he was a little taller, maybe a little bit heavier, but he just thought with just some people think who they are. They try to be bullies or try to act like they all that. But I'm gonna tell you something that he realized at a certain point. T1, his name is Tone, but it's called himself T1, and he was a rapper. He was pretty good too, rapping, and he was out of New York or New Jersey, one or the other. But I knew something, knew one or the other. So we end up, like I said, he tried one time at our house, and I told him he couldn't come back there no more. We was cool and stuff, but you can't come back here no more. Not acting like that. That was the first time I brought him with me, and he tried to act a certain type of way. Now, the second time that we was at Batman House, which was across the street from the place where I was staying at. We was out there, and I think we had just did a show. We had just done the show, and after the show, we sat outside and we was talking or whatever. And I think we had like a small little scuffle, whatever. Nothing happened. No fights, nothing like that. Third time, me and Karen, we over his house. Now he was real cleaning or whatever, and this guy named not Isaiah, Israel. This guy named Israel, little short guy, Israel came by. He was a instigator. He was an instigator. He come by, me and Tyrone and Karen, we at Tyrone place. He come up and he's all right for a minute. Then next thing he's trying to instigate a fight, right? He's trying to instigate something. So I guess him and Tyrone was supposed to T1 was supposed to be real cool. So I don't know if they jumping on people or whatever. But the point is that T1 gained respect for me. He gained respect for me. So me and this guy named Israel, we ended up going outside because he was getting on my nerves, disrespecting. We go outside, so we get out there, we get ready to start bucking. You know what I'm saying? So, he hit me a couple of times in the chest, whatever. I hit him a couple of times, and then next thing you know, we got to a point where we were scuffling. So now we got to a point where I had him for a moment, and then he ended up getting me. I don't know, he had got me some type of way like this, and I was just he just had just all he was doing was hold me, and I was squeezing out, and I was like his chest was right here, and my hands was right here, and I was squeezing, I was pushing like that, and Karen told me this afterwards, after what happened, but I'm doing like this, and I'm gonna tell you what happened first before I did it, but this is how it went. T1 and Karen, because he was saying, you gonna come get, he wanted T1 to jump in with him to get me. And T1 said, no, that's on y'all. You started this, so that's on y'all. So like I said, I gained my respect for T1. And this is something that T1 said after the situation as well. T1 told her, after he thought he had me, T1 told her, he said, you want me to break it up? You want me to break it up? He's like, he got him. Karen said, no, Mike got him. Mike got me. My baby I'm saying my baby at the time, she had confidence in me. Said, no, you ain't got to break it up. Mike got him. Because she knew who I was. She knew I used to buck. Every time I had a couple of other fights before, but she knew I could buck. So she said, no, Mike got him. And TJ said, you sure? You sure? And she said, watch. Now, this is what was going, why this was happening. This is what was said, because she told me and he told me. He told me that she said this. Now, I'm pushing off of him. I'm squeezing out. He trying to hold me. So, you know, by him holding me, his arms is getting weak, right? And I'm like, and I'm pushing because I don't know how he got. I don't know what happened. I think I tried to go after his legs or something like that, and he ended up getting me like he pulled back and got me around like this. So I'm like I'm pushing. So end up I push him into y'all know the little brick pillars about about so high off the ground. I pushed him into that. He went into that, and I was about to hit him, and then T1 grabbed me. So no, that's right. Don't do it. Don't do it like that. Because I was about, and then he just laid back. I just said, I had to let him go. But the point is, T1 said, man, your girl got confidence in you. He told me, your girl got confidence in you. Man, she said, I was asking her, do she want me to stop the fight? She said, no, Mike got him. He told me this. She said, no, Mike got him. Mike got him. And then he said this, man, I seen myself in that position. See, when he said he seen himself in that position, because he didn't know me like that, but yet still it made him, and it's not that what he saw, it was the creator. See, people don't understand. The creator gave him an understanding that you don't know who you messing with. Me and him was cool for a week. He gained respect for me, but we stayed cool until after I went to my when I went to my spiritual awakening. Last time I saw him, when I was in the facility, that was the last time I saw him, and it was a girl with him. But that was the last time I saw him. But throughout all this point, he gained respect for me, and he seen that I had his boy. I was about to get him, but his boy he couldn't do nothing. Actually, he was kind of crying that T didn't help him. He said, "Man, that was on you. You started that. You know, man. You know, him and this girl came over to visit me. We over at my house. You came over. You started that. You want me getting in a fight with something that you started? You know, so you know. But what ended up happening is, like I said, that that dude, I could have tore him up. You know, but the whole point is, I've got this part. I caught my second win. Before we got to that point, I caught my second win because, like I said, we hit each other a couple of times. Then next thing you know, I got hype. I got hype, man. T1 was shocked. That's what really got him to make himself say that he seen himself because I caught my second win that just hit me. I caught my second win. Y'all know what a second win is. I got my energy up. You know, first I was out there and we was going whatever. We was tussling and stuff at first. Next thing you know, I caught my second win, boy. And now, you know, I got my speed on, you know, and everything. But I went down and that's when he caught me like that. And then that's when T1 said, you want to stop it? She said, no, Mike got him. Mike got him. And that's what happened on that point. So I just wanted to throw that in there because that was a nice little highlight as well. And T1 seen a difference then. I think his bullying or whatever it was that he was, I believe he may have stopped it from that point on. Because sometimes people can make you see things in a different way to make you uh, think about your life or make you see things in a different way. So, you know, that was that from far as what I can remember on that point. But I got the song, the end, it was coming to be more than what it was. And then as I'm reading, now I'm beginning to see now the book is really now I'm back to reading, I'm studying, I'm reading every day. So I just wanted to throw that point in with T1 and doing shows and doing things like this. This is where also when I was doing shows with this is where this young man came up with the lock that I put into the routine we call the walk up. It was this lock that I make up that after we do the walk up, now it's a lock that I do a brother made it up and I put the count to it and a young man and that's how I put that in with the routine that I have with the walk up now that we actually the group that I grew up with that we actually do and I ended up putting that lock inside the routine of the walk up. But after this, now we're coming to the point where um, the brother I was just telling y'all about, the one that was with this group named Exotic, I'm still over here at the place across the street. Now, you know, me and T1, we ain't really hanging around or nothing like that now. Now it's more like another chapter. I'm over here. I'm still over here after Imperial. I'm over here across from Babenhausen, where I used to work at. Where I said I feel rich. I'm standing across the street from over there. I'm standing over there. Now this guy named I knew his name. I'm surprised I can't say it. I think it's the one I told y'all that worked that was with the Dallas Cowboys. I can't I can't believe I can't remember his name right off. I'm looking at his face. I think was it Tony? I can't remember. Stuff gonna come later, but right now it's in my mind. But the whole point is he was with this group called another group called and matter of fact, you can go to YouTube and look it up. The name of that group was named Erotic. The name of the group was, and it was about sex. Max, don't have sex with your ex, sex on the phone, um, and they had cartoon videos. And this is the guy I was saying that he came when he came to visit me. Me and him, we got like I said, I was in contact with a few people over there. When he came to visit, oh man, just thinking about that remind me of the time that me and Karen went to Amsterdam after I'm sorry, stuff's just coming back. One time, me and Karen went to Amsterdam in a car that I actually bought for her, and we got it, and we ended up going to Amsterdam after a performance with Imperial. That's the time I told you I brought her out with me to listen to what they saying, and she couldn't understand what they were saying because they went to a different language. So after that show, me and her left from wherever we were. We ended up going to Amsterdam. At the time, like I said, we were smoking hashes. Amsterdam is legal. They have legal prostitution. They call red light district. They have legal what we call it, smoke shops. They call it coffee house. Over there, it's called coffee house. And in the coffee house, they have all kind of legal weed and stuff like that you smoke through bongs and all kind of stuff. So just being open with y'all with what was going on. So what happened? Me and Karen, we left and went to Amsterdam from one of the shows, and we went out there. So while we was walking around, I parked the car. I had all my, I don't know, I had all my stuff I went to go share with the group, my pictures from Detroit. I had necklace, I had money, I had all in my suitcase, and I got paid from Imperial that night. So I had money in my suitcase. Money, I mean, I had a lot of stuff on me. I had a suitcase and I had a duffel bag. Duffel bag had pictures and stuff in it. I had money, we had clothes, we had all kind of stuff. We went out in Amsterdam, we walking around. We come back to the car. Somebody done broke in the car and took all our stuff. Took all my money. I ain't have nothing. Strange. Took all my money, clothes, pictures, all our stuff was gone. They broke in our car, took everything we had. I was shocked. I said, they do that out here? When I say I was shocked, I was shocked, But hey, it is what it is. So I didn't know that was gonna happen. So other than that, I had it all in our back seat on the floor. Wish I could have thought about putting it in the trunk, didn't think, but had it all in the back seat on the floor. So then the car wouldn't start. We was going through something. So next thing you know, we ended up staying at a train station downtown or wherever we were that night. We ended up going to a place where they can get money to get us back to the house. So we ended up getting money from wherever we got. And it was they wouldn't have shillings. They didn't have shillings was in at the time, this was before the euro. At the time, I think the shillings was in Austria. They had some, I don't know if it was silver or something, but it was another type of money in Amsterdam before they went to euro. So whatever happened, that we end up getting money, we end up getting ride, we end up getting back to the house. But the money that I had the funds and all my a lot of my stuff that I just brought to really share with Tyrone and Manuela to show them what I did, where I've been, Detroit stuff, and all my stuff was gone. Gone. The money I got paid that night, I took some out, I left most of it in there in the car, gone. And we made it back home, and that's just another part of my life as well. That we were still with Imperial at that time, with when Tyrone and Manuela. That was I just took her to Amsterdam, you know, after the show. We got together. We was together, so we went to Amsterdam just to have a nice time and end up being crazy. So that's majority of the story at this point. Before we get into um, next week, what I'm gonna do is because right now we're about an hour and 23 minutes in. Next week we'll go into my boy, and I'll probably remember his name by next week. My boy that played with Dallas, and he was with Exotic, and he's one that came and told me, man, you a star in Europe, you a star. So I end up being a role manager for him because he wanted me to do video, he wanted me to show video because I actually did an actual video with my group. Um, in Darmstadt, one of the young brothers, I'll call him young brother, one of the young men downstairs in the building that Karen stayed in Darmstadt. I think we was up on the sixth floor we was staying at. And on the bottom floor, it was a restaurant. And I was cool with the family there. And the young man knew how to do videos. And he did a tight video with us doing the walk up. The lock, the walk up, the whole hookup. It was a tight, I wish I still had it, but it was a tight video that he made of us dancing. And Ron, Yellow Magic, I shared with you, ended up coming. He was in Germany. He ended up coming to visit. He ended up visiting me, the group, and he stayed there for a day and then ended up going because he was in the army. He was in the army. So he ended up visiting us for a day. Me, he met Karen. He met Karen. We did the video. Made the video. Or we was in the making of the video at the time, or that was just before we got started when he came. But he came visit, stayed with us for a day, and then he ended up going back to work because he was in the army. Um, but I shared that point because when the what is his name? Not Anthony. I think it's Tyrone or it was Tony. Oh, I can't remember. And I used to remember his name clear as day. Like I can pop it off just like that. But he was with the group Erotic. And like I said, you can always go look up Max Don't Have Sex with Your Ex, uh, Sex on the Phone. Just look up those two and then you'll start seeing a lot of stuff that and you'll see they're in cartoon. It's cartoon type of videos that there was. But we'll start on that next week and in part 5 and 6. We'll start there. But other than that, is there any question you want to ask G1 up to this point of anything? Or you going to sleep? It sounds like you're going to sleep. G1, are you good? Sound like he's sleep. So, what we're going to do, y'all, next week, we're going to pick up from, um, and I'll probably have his name at the time. We'll pick up where when my boy came and he shared with me that I'm a star in Europe, uh, uh, a star in Austria, and where he had me be his road manager because he actually helped put money in my pocket, truthfully, at this time. Um, and this is right after Imperial and right after a few things that happened, and me finding or should I say, having the song "The End" come about as well. So we'll pick up there next week in part 5 and part 6. This is the end of part 2, which is part 3 and 4 of Mikael's Life of Mikael, question and answer. So this is my life. G1 did a good job in asking questions of according to Imperial. I also sent him a few not videos, but the videos is in the post, but a few clips when I was in the magazines. Now, if there's any way that I can get on there, if y'all want to check them out, I might put it on. I might place them on. I was used to do it on Facebook, but I might end up putting some clips up on Facebook with this video in there. But I might not put the video up. I might put the information of the video up plus the clips, up, and then this will be the story. But I might finish up the story first with everything, so we have everything in there. But we'll go from where we at. Other than that, I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth them not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see, that Mikael is really me. We're gonna smile our way out, and we're gonna give this the end up tonight, being the life or just life of Mikael question and answer. All right. Other than that, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shekebo Vakuto Violam Vaed Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah our Father is one Father. Blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Excuse me. Hallelujah. Excuse me for that yarn. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, the planet do. We bless you, praise you, and thank you for all you've done and been doing. We thank you for all you've done and everything you brought us to and brought us through and letting us see your great light. And all you've done, we pray, we promote you, and we thank you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right. And for everybody else, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can always call or text me at 770-572-5315. 770-572-5315. Or you can always email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. That's lkhyym@gmail.com. You can also catch me on YouTube. You can like, subscribe, and share with me on YouTube, and you can also catch me on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's X, formerly known as Twitter. Both of them, excuse me, with the site, or should I say, with the name Juice Pro 33, which is JUICE PRO 33. JUICE PRO 33, all together as one word, not separated, but all together. And please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget, that's like on YouTube, that's the live on YouTube, part one and part two. The full version is on YouTube on the video, just so you know. Excuse me. Also, my TikTok and my Instagram, you'll find me at LKHYYM underscore the juice. That's LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. Excuse me. All kinds of stuff is happening right now. That's Instagram and TikTok. Also, I have another TikTok, which is Michael the Juice Harris. That TikTok, which is MICHAELTHEJUICE. Excuse me. HARRIS. Again, that's MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. That's my other TikTok. And my Facebook is Mikael Harris, which is MI apostrophe CHAEL space HARRIS. That's MI apostrophe CHAEL space HARRIS. Right? Excuse me. Now for the full video, which is from Zoom. That full video you'll find in YouTube, as I shared earlier, which is the full video in YouTube under the video. The part one, part two is under live, but the full video will be on video. As well as you can get the full version in patreon.com/LKHYYM. That's patreon.com/LKHYYM. Excuse me. And also, last but not least, on that, you can also catch me at rumble.com/LKHYYM. That's rumble.com/LKHYYM. Now, for my platform that I'll be on the nights of the week, my as of tonight, is Fight Fire with Truth at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, night after Sunday, which is the night after the day of Sunday. Then we have Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. That's Mikael Knowledge of Truth, night after Monday. That's the night after Monday. Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. And on Tuesdays, you have to connect with me on you have to email me if you like. Excuse me. You can email me or text me um, your email if you want to get in the solving class of knowledge. Text me your name, number, and email mainly, but your email if you like to get in solving class of knowledge. And here we teach people, help people get in their executive office and become free from the system. Last but not least, we have Assembly of the Righteous. We're doing some things on Wednesday, but you have to get there first. So, Assembly of the Righteous is on the Sabbath day, 12 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock noon Eastern. Other than that, I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye, and we're going to say bye over here to, we're going with Facebook first. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love you, and have a great night. Peace. So that was coming down. Oh. And Instagram. I'd like to thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love you in always. Peace. And over here on YouTube, before we go to YouTube Live, we're going to say bye over here. I know G1 is asleep. Appreciate you, G1. I'm glad you came through, and everybody else that coming through to listen to the information. I'd like to thank all of you for your time, your patience, your listening there, and your seeing eye. Appreciate love you in always. Peace.